Hello. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, we are finally in a three-holer, three-engine MD-11. I've been seeing this airplane flying around the YouTube interwaves for the last, 5 days or so. Just got back from a trip 2 days ago. Was off for 4th of July. Hope all my fellow Americans had a wonderful, beautiful, freedom-filled 4th of July. I thought I was, from my last stream, I thought I was on the up and up, recovering from whatever sickness I had. I'm pretty sure it's COVID because I lost my smell and taste again. End of my 3-day trip. Did not go well. Got pretty sick. Made it home. Pretty sick yesterday. Feeling better today. Still a little bit stuffy, so I apologize if my voice isn't 100% right, but I actually feel much better today. I probably feel twice as good today as I did yesterday. But I wanted to stream to you guys because I can't not fly this airplane, and I had too many questions. So I needed to pick it up, fly it myself, and we're going to do that today. We're going to talk all about it. Force Raptor dropping 10 gifted memberships to the channel, my man. Thank you so much for the support. I'm going to mute that alert box real quick. Very kind to you. I'm sorry, FC Receptor. Jeez, it's just your forever Force Raptor, man. FC Receptor, though, thank you so much for being so kind and supporting the channel and getting 10 memberships out here. Really appreciate you, man. Was definitely waiting for this one. Very interested to see what you have to say on the MD-11. Harris, I got some things to say, my man. I got some things to say. We're going to go through it together here. We got a decent flight. We got an hour and 50 minutes or so total block time. Probably closer to an hour 20, hour 30 en route. We are going from Houston to Cancun, number one, because Miami to Cancun, we were going to come on the backside of that hurricane. And I wanted to see if I could see anything with the radar or anything out in the front, or just any depiction of a hurricane coming from the north. So I vetoed the Miami flight. I still wanted to fly the American livery. Azobo DFW is terrible, and it's a little bit longer of a flight than I wanted to do, so we just picked up from Houston. Now, I also have the Meatball. Continental livery, which I really like, but I wanted to fly this one because it's got dirtier flaps and because it's 4th of July, so what's more American than flying American in the luxury liner bare metal? So we're going to get to it. Zippy Zapple, good to see you, man. I saw you flying out over Honolulu. I don't know where you were going, if you were just passing Honolulu. I did a test flight in the MD-11 about an hour ago. I've only done 2 landings. Scratch that. I've only done one actual landing, which did not go well. And then I had an attempt of another landing, which I Alt F4'd before doing it because I was having issues with some of my bindings. So this will be fun. We're going to take this puppy in a hurricane. I think the forecasted winds and weather in Cancun are about 70 knots. No, I think it's like 30-something forecast with heavy rain showers. The hurricane's already moved past Cancun, but we're still going to get some of those bands rolling in, hopefully by the time of our arrival. So it should be a pretty spicy approach. And Cancun, if you've been around the channel, you know that Cancun has always been a little bit extra juicy for this channel here. So MD-11 lands hard, yes. Maru United Island. Oh, okay, very cool. Zippy, on your way to Guam. Very cool, man. Tom Pasco, thank you so much for the 50 months of support, my man. Flying Baltimore to MCO to Costa Rica. Wow, very cool, man. Sounds like a good little trip you got planned up there, man. Enjoy Costa Rica. Should be a lot of fun, man. Some good weather, too. You should be past all that. Everything should be sucked out of the Gulf and be pretty good weather next week. So, all right, I'm going to reset drone cam and I got to turn the sim up, but the audio of that GPU is very loud. So we're going to just do that. We're going to come back in here and let's talk about this. I'll tell you what. So you're seeing it in all its glory, midday, no weather. Texturing on this, I know this bare metal livery is extremely hard to get right. It's pretty decent. There's someone taking off right there. It's much better in low light conditions. Texturing on this bird, though, overall, my thoughts out of the gate, because I know we'll talk about texturing. Some of it is really well done, and some of it I feel like I'm looking at P3D or FSX. And I think the reason for that being is, to my understanding, this airplane is released both on P3D and Microsoft Flight Sim. So if you're a developer and you're making an airplane for 2 sims, from a developer point of view, you want to do the least amount of work or the least amount of duplicate work, right? So you're probably going to try to make things compatible. And I feel like that this airplane just, I know it's a Microsoft release, but this airplane just smells like P3D. it just smells like P3D. And I could be off base. I haven't flown P3D in years, but that's just my initial impressions. Some of it's really good though. I come to the cockpit and I like the cockpit. I do. But when you compare it to, like, I'm used to flying the 777, right? PMDG, pristine. And now this is dirty. I love the dirtiness. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that, like, the worn paint, the scratches and everything here, I think are really good. The overhead looks good. The overhead, I think, actually is probably one of the better parts of this airplane. I think the overhead is really, really well done. You can see kind of like the finger marks where these switches are used so much. You kind of wear away the little, like, plastic protective coating on the top of the switch. It's not... I don't know how else to explain it, but that's very realistic looking. So, yeah, you know what, Chaos? You have a good point about the sun. Why don't we adjust our time of arrival? Let's move the time forward because midday is pretty mid. We can only have one mid. We're flying an MD-11, which, in my opinion, this has nothing to do with TFDI. The MD-11 is mid. I'd much rather have a DC-10 or an L-10-11 if I had to pick. The MD-11 would be the last out of the three for me personally. It has nothing to do with TFDI. So that's why I call this the mid-11. Don't nobody get offended by that. Let's go ahead and move the time forward. You guys want to do that a little bit because it's 1:37 right now. Let's just get it off of midday. All right, let's just bring it to like let's make it 4:37 because if we do that we should have some sun setting and then we'll really get to see the texturing better and this particular livery it's very hard to get the bare metal looking really good, but see, you can see already, look, just moving that sun a little bit, look how much better that looks. So I gotta say it's pretty it's pretty decent as far as this particular livery is done, and I really love the wear and tear and the dirt on it. So We'll continue looking at the outside and everything once we get up, but let's go ahead and fire up this airplane. Let's get the battery on, and I'm going to turn the sim sounds up, and we're going to turn the APU on, and we're going to get rid of the external power cart. But what we're going to do is we're just going to kind of go out of order here. I'm going to get external power on, and then we'll get the ADIRs into the alignment. And this is a good time. This brings me to sounds. Spurious Podge, thanks for the 11 months of support, my man. Appreciate you. Not sure why when there's about 3 players on P3D. Yes. Hey, I digress. I'm not sure what the mentality is for that. I mean, there are people heavily vested in P3D, and I think we won't even get to that. But here's the thing: if you heavily invest into P3D, it's pretty decent. I think you're better off heavily investing in X-Plane 12 at this point. Make X-Plane 12 look better with investing in add-ons and stuff. But whatever. I mean, I think there's still some people that play P3D. Vega 13, thank you so much, man, for the 13-month support. Every finger and toe crossed for the FSS 72. Vega 13, I'm right there with you, man. I'm fingers crossed, dude. Fingers crossed. Let's fire the APU up right now because I'm going to get off the ground power because I don't like hearing this thing running. So we're just going to go straight to an APU start, which is right here, not the... let's see if we hear the APU spool up. I believe it's spooling up. Hey, Rot, L1011 all day? Yeah, L1011 is all I want. Well, I want a 727, but I would really, really want an L1011 ATA because that was my first wide body that I remember as a child. I think I told that story when we were on the 777 stream. But ATA L1011 would be so much juice. All right, silence of the lambs. Okay, so our APU is up and running, chat. Let's go ahead and disconnect the external power. And let's just please get rid of this GPU disconnect here. GPU disconnect. It's just humming in my ears on the background. So, sounds, we're going to talk a lot about sounds. Some sounds are decent. Some sounds are a complete miss. One of the loudest sounds on this airplane is the trim. Let's just listen to this. That's the trim switch. Now I get it might be louder than what I might be thinking, but I don't know if the trim switch is actually the loudest switch in the airplane. I could be wrong. Maybe an MD-11 driver can let me know. It's just it might be so the other pilot knows you're pressing it. Maybe it's supposed to be super loud and tactile, and if it is, then I stand completely corrected. I just feel like there's some sounds that are really missed. But let's fire up the airplane. Let's get everything else dialed in here, and then we'll deal with it there. So let's come down to FMC. Now, there are some things that are done really well, and I like it. I like the McDo sounds. I like clicking the buttons down there. Let's go to our dispatch here. We're going to send the flight plan to FMC. We're going to set payload and fuel. With that done, let's run down here, and let's fire this sucker up. Initialize IRS. That's done. Alternate route. We're not doing that. Our alternate, though, is Mike, Charlie. Oh no, what is our alternate? Oh, dang it, sim brief. I tried to customize our alternate. It did not let me customize it. It looks like our alternate is Havana. So our alternate is Muha, which that'd be interesting. All right, so Muha is the alternate. We're going as American 357 Heavy, AAL 357. Boom, that's going in there. Cruise flight level today is 37, I thought. Yeah, 37,000 feet. We'll put 370 here. 370 is set. Cost index, we're going to run this sucker up to 88 right now. We might adjust that. I have seen some issues with some overspeeding and some auto thrust issues. I have to ask you guys a question about that here in a minute, because I think I might be doing something wrong. So we shall see. We'll get to that in a minute, though. So we'll go to page 2. Now, with our fuel already set, I'm going to click here, takeoff gross weight. That looks good. Our block fuel on board is 54.4. And you can kind of come up here and do a rough check. 18, 18, 18, that's about, yeah, that's 54. So, let's finish my overhead flow. I'm sorry, I got all out of sorts because I went straight to APU power. But we got our ADIRs aligned. Let's finish our flow here. We'll put the emergency power into the arm position. We will turn the emergency lights into arm. Now, here's another thing. I'll put nav and logos on because chicks dig logo lights, even though it's sun. You know what reeks of P3D is switches that you can only mouse wheel. You can't click all of them. So there are some like this seatbelt sign is not a clickable switch. You have to mouse wheel it. And you have to mouse wheel it up. In my opinion, if I'm moving this switch forward or down, I would be mouse wheeling it down. So I might just be the oddball out on this. But this, to me, for $80, I bought both the passenger and freighter. It's just like, come on, man. Why? Why do I have to mouse wheel certain switches? Why can't I click certain switches? And if you're going to mouse wheel it, I feel like it's reversed. You guys remember when Toga first released the 319? And I was so mad about the light switches and you couldn't mouse wheel them. This kind of, I'm getting flashbacks to that. Anyway, emergency lights are armed. We'll put the no smoking into auto. We'll leave the seatbelt sign off for now. Nav and logo lights are on. We got to turn the APU air on because everyone's going to be getting toasty. Now, this works properly. As I turn it to the left, I mouse wheel down. So we're going to get the cold air on from the APU. That looks good. Those fault lights up there are normal. So it's a mid-11. Did anybody confirm that pitch trim is supposed to be that loud? Abraham said I thought he said it was. I kind of got stuck looking down and seeing the chat. But, yeah, some switch sounds are just, I feel like they were recorded with a recording device right next to them, and then they were just thrown into the sound pack at full volume with no mixing. And I have no idea how to make a sound pack, and this is way better than any sound pack that I could ever make. But if I were to think about how you make a sound pack, I would imagine that's how this was done, or some of the switches at least. Like recorded at full volume right next to the switch, and then just thrown into the sound files. Oh, you were joking about loudness. Okay. Gustavo, yeah, I've heard the stabilizer motion warning. We'll get that here in a minute. Anyway, block fuel's on board, so we'll put 54.4 right here. Takeoff, takeoff CG, zero fuel weight CG is set. Now we're going to go over to page 3. This McDo is very interesting to me. I like it. I think it's well done. It reminds me of an MD-11, of an Airbus and a Boeing and like an A300 all together. It's very interesting how McDonnell Douglas kind of set this thing up here. We have the fuel dipstick option on. We're not going to get into that today, but that's all we're going to do. We got our initials done. Houston, No ATC on. Let's check the current weather in Houston. Jeremy Harvey says lazy mixing. Yeah, that's kind of what I think. So right now, weather in Houston is 170 at 6. So if I go to charts and my taxi, you can't see it because I'll tell you what my other issue is. We're going to use 15 left for departure. So let me get this loaded in here real quick. Sid, Houston, 15 left, and we're on the Fliza 5. Fliza 5 departure, and out to the Kelp transition. Let me just make sure. Fliza 5 Kelp, yeah, and then the Vomar 1 Alpha. So Kelp transition, we'll insert that. Beautiful. We'll sling down here, down to Cancun. Now I am actually going to Cancun next week, so this is good practice for me. V1, I feel this plane is still a work in progress and needs another few months of work. Cheers. Mohammed, good to see you, man. So if I were to wrap, we haven't even got into some other things I want to talk about. Hold on. VOR DME 12 left, number 2 is what we were probably going to get. Or no, ILS DME. ILS 12 left, number 3 off the Vomar 1 Alpha. And the transition Veritas? That doesn't seem right. I'll take it out through Vixie. And then we'll insert that. I might have to adjust that. I'm going to show you something. Now this could be, yeah, this could be something that I'm having issues with. I was able to do this. I'm going to try it again one more time. I was able to get it working. I synced up with Navigraph code. Everything was fine. For this stream, I restarted the sim, and for some reason I cannot get it to connect. JTC, Juliet, November 94 Fox. Approve. Nothing happens. So I'm like locked out of my. I'm in Navigraph. I'm actually using my Navigraph charts, but I can't for this airplane, and I could be doing something wrong. But this is the first time in the history of me flying airplanes on Microsoft Flight Simulator that I can't log in with Navigraph through the airplane. So I don't know. Maybe this is a Navigraph thing. It works. It worked for me earlier. Worked just fine. I had charts and everything. Now it's not working, and I don't know why. And I'm logged into Navigraph, so that's why you're not gonna be able to see charts. But whatever. Is it an MD-11 thing? I don't know. They rushed this to try to get the FS Expo Cloud for $80. They need to do better. Soup JC, I'm inclined to agree with you, my man. Let's go to plan mode, and then I wanted to verify a couple things. So I'm going to increase this range here. Let's come on down. Kelp, Keeley, Betas, Vomar 1 Alpha, Alta, Vixie. Okay, so that all looks good. I'm happy with that. Let's finish up this flight plan and get. Actually, you know what we need to do? Let's start the boarding process too. Request a boarding, please.
Boarding requested.
So that all looks good. Flight plan is done. What we need to do is go to the climb limits. And we're going to do climb 1, because if I don't do climb 1, I don't know how to get to climb 1 after takeoff. I don't know how to derate it. And then we just start ripping out. We are going to do a TO1, or a TO. Nope, crew's already on board. Maybe when we take off, you guys can show me how to do that. I'm sure you can derate after you take off. But I've done some climb 1 takeoffs, or just some regular straight up climb takeoffs, and after a reduction it's still like 104. Well, in this case it's 102%, and I couldn't figure out how to derate it again. But that'll be something that's a me problem. And let's go to takeoff approach, and this is where we do the perf data. And honestly, this is pretty good over here. Houston, we said 15 left. EFB reeks of I don't even think we didn't even have FSXs in, or we didn't even have EFB and FSX, but it just seems P3D-ish. Like I should be able to click on this and this be a drop down. Whatever. I'm nitpicking. You might think I'm nitpicking a lot here, but you got to remember this is an $80 airplane, and I just flew the 777 PMDG for, what was it, $7.30. So for a few dollars cheaper, you can get a PMDG 777-300, which has a pretty high bar and a pretty clean finished product. I'm not saying this won't be a clean finished product, but just my initial day of having this, I feel like this is a great beta release. Looks like MD-11 and Navigraph be logged out at this aircraft, and other people have the same problem. I own the aircraft too, but not test Navigraph and MD-11. Yeah, I'm not sure at MPS Gaming. I'm not sure why I can't log back in. I've logged out of Navigraph, logged back into Navigraph, I've reset, and I just can't. I put in the code, I hit approve, and nothing happens. So it just seems to me like a beta release. Like this is a beta airplane here. And if this was a beta version, I think this is a great beta version. And I know they've acknowledged that they're going to be doing some updates, which is great. I think it's in need of it. $77.30 PMDG. I've missed the trick there. Should have been $77.70. Yeah, get an extra 40 cents, Dale. Maybe. A great beta for the low price of $80. V1 said over 300 bugs were found on the TFDI's GitHub page. I don't deny it. And look, Pilot FS says you got to understand it's their first airplane. It's not. Brand new dev group. It's not. Pilot, they've been developing for a P3D for quite some time. Matter of fact, I have their 717, the P3D, and it's great. It's clean. It's crisp. It's a fantastic airplane. This Microsoft version, the only way I can describe it is they basically, whatever you could port over from P3D, they port over. It doesn't seem like a native Microsoft Flight Sim release. And everyone's got to start somewhere. I get it. But man, when Fenix comes out at, what was the Fenix 320? $50? $60 US? It's like they're trying to bring in P3D prices for not the quality of product for P3D. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like this airplane in P3D, I feel like the consumer-based P3D wouldn't be all that happy, because in P3D you have pretty high standards for third-party development. That's why everything's so expensive too. I don't know. $50. $50, yeah, for the Fenix, which is insanity. Absolute insanity. I missed a couple other logo lights. 18 months. Thank you so much for the support, man. The new Huey. Yes, dude, the new Huey. I love it, logo lights. It's the flight model. I have fun with it, you know. I'm spoiled by the DCS Huey, and it's my favorite helicopter of all time. But the sounds, if I could get the sounds from the Taog's hangar Huey into DCS, would be fantastic, man. I've had some fun with that. Aviation Blaze, thank you for the 20 months support, man. Captain Mom and I non-ref to Dallas on Tuesday just for some Garrett's popcorn. Nice. Stay safe. It was so worth it. Hey, Aviation Blaze, that's awesome, man. Congrats. That's awesome. I'm glad you had a fun little trip. And that's trips like that make memories that you just can't forget, man. That's very cool. I wonder if you need to log into Navigraph and go on a device to log out the MD-11. It's Kyle. Let me try that real quick. I'll tell you what, let me just make sure everything is finished here. We kind of got distracted. Let's do our takeoff weight. We'll get takeoff weight. We're not going to flex. Let's do TO, anti-ice no, flaps optimum, packs on though. Get takeoff weight. We already did that, sorry. Calculate. And we got 33, 37, 54, no flex. Aw, flaps 19. All right. I thought we were going to be able to dial. Yeah, we're still dialing. We'll dial in 19. Yeah, no flex. What the heck? 33, 37, and 54. So 133, 154. Was it 137? I believe it was. I'll just double check here. Flaps 19. No flex. Packs on. And OAT right now is hot. If you've been in Texas, or pretty much all of the U.S. is just cooking right now. 34C. Goodness. 34C is set. Slope and wind. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So that is set. Flaps 19. Thrust limits. We already said we're going to derate to climb 1, which is a 97%. We're doing a TO, 110% N1, which will be absolutely ripping. 33, everything looks good. Beautiful. So that's done. I'll put you on the flight plan page. I'm going to come back up here. I'm going to put you back on the map page. I'm going to increase the range back down. And as far as speeds are concerned, what do we set? V2 plus 10, 164. So if you push in, and now I can set 164, which this is another. There's like no click and drag. So I'm using my Bravo right now to spin this up. 164, which will be V2 plus 10, 164, and then I'm going to pop it back out, and then we will go nav armed and profile armed. So nav arm, profile arm, 164 pitch, everything looks good there, and we'll dial a flap to flap 19. So we'll come over here, dial a flap. If you're never seeing dial a flap, don't be, I'll explain it to you real simply here. You have flap position 1, and then you have a position that you set the flap handle to, and whatever you have in this wheel, when you have it at the dial a flap selector, it's going to bring the flaps to that amount of flap degree. Is it really degree? I think it is degree. So, for instance, if I set 19, you see how this is moving down? When I move the flap lever into the second notch, which is the dial a flap notch, it will set whatever degree of flap you have here. Very simple, very cool, very unique system, really. It's how you get some real fine flap settings. But that's it. Yeah, here's a dial a flap window. So anything in this range is dial a flap. Outside of that, I don't even know if you can do a flaps 28 takeoff. If you could, you wouldn't even do, dial a flap would be non-existent, right? Because you could set 28 degrees here hard. But this is the dial a flap window. Very cool. All right, 19 is set. Everything looks good. Transponder code is going to be from Auto ATC 7325. 7325. 732. Like, listen to those. Like, really? We'll put altitude reporting on the ground here because why not put an XPDR mode. Here's another thing. This is another switch that you cannot click. So, mouse wheel only. Although it mouse wheels in the direction that I'm glad I can mouse wheel it. Can't click this switch. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a question in chat. Let's take a look at this. Above, neutral, below. If you wanted to move this switch to the above position, which direction would you move your mouse wheel? What do you think is the intuitive direction to move the mouse wheel for moving this TCAS switch into the above position? Let me know in chat. I'm going to have a sip of water. Yeah, you'd scroll up. No, not in the TFT MD-11. You actually have to move the mouse wheel down. There you go. So, yeah, opposite of what I would think, and everybody else apparently. All right, up just like your finger would in real life. Yeah, I would agree. I would agree, but no. Just like you would in real life. Nope. No, it's opposite. TFDI, oh gosh, TFDI is one of those psychos who plays FPSs with look inverted so it scores down. Oh, Lord. Yeah, it's inverted. Okay, anyway. What is our CTAF here in Old Houston? It is... I don't even know. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. I don't know. We're going to take 1.5 left, so I'm going to put 27.3, even though there's no CTAF. 127.3. Don't mind me. It'll take about 15 minutes here to... Can I click and hold? Surely there's a way to make this move faster. Nope. Shift doesn't change it. Control doesn't change. Is this for real? I'm literally mouse wheeling as fast as I can. There's got to be a way to change this. I guess not. I'm scrolling as fast as I can. Don't call me Shirley. Sorry, Chaos. Alright. 27.3 is set. Ignition not on, door open, config check. It's all good. Everything looks good. Alright. Let's enjoy the rest of the loading process. Nice 777 next to us there, looking super good. I definitely need the mini FCU. Click hold, click drag does not work, A-Rot. There's no click hold, there's no click spot. You can only mouse wheel it. I can't even click it. How do you get the blue outline to go away as you hover? Clayton Butler, that's in your... Gosh, what is that in chat? Help him out. It's the legacy settings or something. It's in the Microsoft Flight Simulator settings. I think it's assistance options. And somewhere in there. To get the blue where it highlights blue. Yeah. Damn, airplane movie jokes never get old. Bombtech, good to see you, my man. Here, and I don't want this to come off like super negative and like I don't like this airplane. Because the truth is, I want to love this airplane. I want to love it. I want to love the MD-11. It's the only 3-holer we got in the sim right now. My hopes of NEL 1011 are nil. I don't think that's ever coming. There is a 7.2 in development, which is awesome, and I'm excited for that. MD-11 fills a little bit of a different role than the 7.2. You know, it's obviously it's a wide body. It's just bigger altogether. So they're not in the same class. So it's really my only 3-hauler that we're going to get. So for that reason, I want to love it. And there are things that I really enjoy about this airplane. There are things that I enjoy. Some of the sounds are really good. I think some of the engine... Here's an interesting thing. The startup sounds, you're going to hear them here in a moment. Half of them are really good. The other half of the startup sounds are kind of mid. And I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I think this airplane can really benefit from a super high quality sound pack, because when you have a super high quality sound pack, it makes it easier to forgive little things that are just nuisance annoyances, right? But when your sound pack has a non-existent APU start, a interesting startup sound, in-flight sounds are okay, depending on what the engines are doing. It needs more work. That's why I said initially, I think this would be a great beta version of the MD-11. What the hell is the texture on the exhaust outlet? That's a great question, Zippy. Not sure, my man. Skunkworks Simworks has a 7.2 in development, but FSS Studios, or Flight Sim Studios, FSS, they have a 7.2 that's supposed to be out next month or the end of this month, or it's whatever it is. It's nearing release. Now, I did submit a email to the little thing where maybe get a streamer copy early. I hope maybe I can get one. A-Rot, hook me up, brother. I haven't seen anything yet other than what's in the Discord, and it looks great. It looks really promising. It really does. So my fingers are crossed, and I hope the sounds in that one are cleaner, because so much of flight sim, and everyone's different, but to me, we're sitting at our desk flying a stationary simulator. Most of us are. Some actually have some rolly chairs and stuff, which is really cool. But most of us are sitting at a stationary desk with a stationary flight sim. So you're never going to feel like you're in the real airplane. The next best thing is you're going to hear that you're in the real airplane. And sometimes what is ultimately realistic in real life doesn't always translate super well to the sim either. Case in point being Leonardo MD-80. Engine sounds are pretty non-existent up front in real life. However, because you can't feel the thrust increase and decrease, having a little extra juice on the engine sound from up front in the cockpit goes a long way for immersion. So that's kind of what I get at with sound packs. I understand, and I think some of that's going to be true here for this airplane. Like, I would imagine this airplane is moderately quiet up front. However, you still have engines right here on your wings. So I would imagine it's louder than an MD-11. You know what I hear in real life? Bose activate noise reduction. Yeah, if you have the Bose headsets, then you don't hear anything. Which I don't, in the Airbus, I don't turn it on. A-Rot, no, I didn't, man. I submitted the email, but I haven't got anything else. Gustavo, you're absolutely right, man. Good to see you, Gustavo. I'm sorry I missed your chats earlier. Yeah, for an $80 add-on, you shouldn't even need to consider a sound pack. I agree, Gustavo. 100%, man. 100%. Right there with you, man. We haven't even got to the flight model yet, which we'll talk about that when we take off. PMDG 777 sounds are lame too. Captain McGee, I don't want to say I go back and forth, because there's definitely part of me that knows that the engine sounds are off, and especially on approach. And I was thinking, like, is it the speed at which the engines are operating? Like, is the FADEC moving the N1s too fast? Is that a thing? You know, because remember how Fenix said that, or was it, yeah, maybe it was fly-by-wire initially when they first came out. Remember how fast the engines used to respond? Because it was just the way Microsoft had the engines coded. And then after, I don't know, a year, whatever, so many updates on the fly-by-wire, they finally got the engine spool time more realistic. And I'm not saying this is the problem with the 777 sounds, but I almost wonder, because I feel like I can really rip that N1 up and down fast. But maybe that's just, maybe the FADEC is that responsive. I don't know. But there still definitely needs to be some work on. It needs more growl, I feel. And on approach, you get that whining up-down sound. And I just don't know how realistic that is. And like I said, I've never flown a 777, so I don't know. But almost everybody collectively seems to think that it's off. FTSim just released the 777 sound pack. Very interesting, ZK. I might have to try that. Maybe we'll pick it up and do it tomorrow. Maybe we'll do an FTSim. Here's the thing. We have to try to take the 777 in the Pero, which might trigger a lot of people. Oh, you can't take a 777 in a Pero Bhutan. But I made a bet with a fellow Discord member. I said I'd buy him the 777 if I can't stop it. I said I'll be able to stop the 777 in Pero. So we might have to do a flight in the Pero Bhutan with the FTSim sound pack. The issue with the engine sounds is the way they react to change in RPM. Maybe that's what I'm trying to say, Chaos. So the engine sounds, the way they react to changes in RPM, or changes, I guess, RPM and speed, is what the majority of the problem is. Oh, Quantados, I did hear the APU startup sound for the 727. Now, at first I was like, why does it sound like I'm standing underneath the APU inside the cockpit? But I think they had the door open, and if it's a cargo variant, there's really nothing between you and the APU, right? So maybe it's not realistic. But the sounds were great. I love the little whine of the starter motor. Sounded really good. And then when they closed the door on that video, it muffled it. So maybe if the door was shut or throughout the entire startup sequence, it would have sounded less dramatic. But that was one thing I saw about that. But it did sound good. It did sound good, no doubt about it. The FTSim sound pack everyone talking about came out June 3rd of 21? Really? Oh, maybe they just made it compatible. APU is on the right main landing gear bay, and the exhaust is on the top right wing. Yeah, for the 7.2. That sound is awful bad. Really? Well, if it's near it would be louder, though, Gustavo. So if it's right there near the main gear, yeah, because on the 7.2 you can see the little hole on the side of the wing where the exhaust is. So if the door's open and your cargo config, I would imagine the APU sound is pretty loud. Can you tell Boris to make a 7.3 pack? Gordo, I'm in the minority on this one, apparently. I think the PMDG 7.3 sounds are 100% good. But I know he says that's his #1 requested sound pack. What do I know, man? All right. We're loaded up, chat. Let's go ahead and blast out of here. Let's see. If you want to see more MD-11 content, remember, 400 people watching, 124 likes. That's a little light. That's a little light in spite of post-Freedom Day. Smash that like button. You're free to hit that like button. All right. We will go. Maybe we'll do packs off takeoff if we hit 300 likes. We'll go packs off. I don't want to do packs off because we're going to be climbing so fast. I'm probably going to lose control of the airplane. So I set a very aggressive light goal for packs off. Right now we're packs on. All right, let's prepare for pushback and departure. Let's go ahead and get the beacon light on. And when I turn on the engine ignition, we're going to kill the pack. So it's hot in Houston. We're going to wait till the last minute. But we can't get the seatbelt sign on. So let me mouse wheel up to turn the seatbelt sign down to on position. Too hungover from Freedom Day celebrations? To remember to hit the like button. Steven, glad you had a good time, man.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
But the door is on the left side. So left side, right main gear bay. Yeah, but if it's at the gear bay, Gustavo, and the door to the cargo is open, there's literally nothing between that gear bay and the cockpit. That's what I'm saying. It's not like it's a passenger config where it's full of seats down there. All right, Magic Barrel ref key is set 10,000. No ATC on. Let's just be lazy. Let's set our top altitude 370. That's something I should have set up here. I do like the way the altitude window scrolls. It scrolls pretty nice. 370. KS says, on the overhead, I can understand the mouse wheel moving switches forward.
Locking gear.
I guess, yeah, KS, you're right. Looking to push this forward, I guess rolling up. So you're right there. This view is kind of awkward, but I can understand it from here because you're kind of looking up at it. I see what you're saying with that. I see what you're going. Let's come over here to ground ceviches. I'll wait for him to tell me to release brakes. We need to go nose right, facing west on apron.
Release parking brakes,
Move
please.
the wheel chocks.
Commencing push.
Brakes are released.
All engines clear. Start at will.
Houston traffic, American 347 Heavy pushing back off Delta 5. Is that bound? It is bound. Alright. Ooh, look at that. Speed bad. Speed bad. No thunk. AJ, there was the parking brake wasn't set. I was just on chocks. I was just on chocks, man. There was no parking brake set there. I think. You don't hear me at all. I'm on 27.3, Team Vodka. For 1.5 left, because apparently we're doing fake believe CTAFs. No, 25.35. Why are you on 25.35? ATIS clearance, metering, tower, 27.3 for 1.5 left. CTAF is 25.35? Why? Why is CTAF 25.35? There's no... That makes zero sense. Oh, put CTAF... Oh, bro. Why? Why? 25.35? Great, now we gotta scroll this for 15 minutes. Lauren, get him to not do this. This is the this might be the most asinine thing I've ever done in the history of flight simulation, is this CTAF situation that they're trying out here.
Please set parking brakes.
Hold on, I'm not done scrolling my 54 digits. Brakes are set. Alright, 25.35. My volume sounds low? Really? Does my volume sound low? Let me know. JJ Stevens, thanks for the $5 super chat, my man. Appreciate you. It's all good, V1. People are just angry because FSS EJet doesn't do a magenta descent for them yet, so automatically everything is wrong with the 727. I agree, JJ Stevens. Look, man.
Unlocking gear.
I enjoy that FSS EJet. I know it doesn't have VNAV yet, and I know people are pissed about it. And if the 7.2 wasn't my absolute favorite airplane in civilian world, I might be upset about that too, but at the end of the day, if it's a different team, I mean, I can't wait for it. Microphone is
clear,
low.
right is clear.
Alright, well, how about now? Maybe now? Maybe? Maybe? Allegedly? I don't know why it would be so low. Testing, testing. Maybe the sim is too loud? Hopefully that's better. We'll see. If you need me to turn the sim down, I'm gonna try to turn. Actually, I'll tell you what. Well, I'm not gonna turn the sim down yet. We'll do engine start. All right. There's a pin, tug toe, wave off. Let's start them up. So I'm gonna turn up the sounds actually, so I'll be even more quiet. You guys tell me what should we do? Let's do an outside
Clear
engine
to
start first.
engine.
Let's do outside engine start first. We're gonna go 3, 1, 2.
And the United 777, what departure are you on?
All right, we're gonna start engines from here. Let's go ahead and ignition A.
United 1630 heavy, we're on the Lyric.
B pilots off, just for the start. Beacons on. Beacons on. And let's start engine 3. Now I'm gonna double up here because you can't break it. There's no frame gen on, so that's the true spin up sound. Then we go into quietness. That's no frame gen. There's no frame gen right now, Chaos. Now, if that's not P3D, I don't know what it is. But see, the second half of the engine start sounds are pretty good. So now let me show you. You don't believe me. So this is frame gen off, frame gen on. Frame gen off, frame gen on. And I don't, you know, it doesn't bother me when there's artifacting with frame gen. I know some people it bothers them, but it doesn't bother me. So, but without frame gen, it's still very sus. Okay, let's go ahead and start the rest of them up. We'll do this one from inside. We'll go 1, and I'll be quiet. Second half is pretty good. Second half of the startup, I mean, like, that's what I'm saying. This plane does so, it's so weird. All right, let's go ahead and start 3. We'll do this one from inside. I'll turn the sim back down a little bit. Turn the V-pilot back on. Turn the sim sounds down a little bit. And let's go ahead and hit it. Watch it light up here. Change your seating for a little taller. Gustav, I can't. I've only done 1 attempted landing. I don't want to change it now, man. You could almost call it unfinished.
Traffic, direct,
Indeed.
waypoint now.
Now I do have the digital. I have the digital analog or digital display here instead of the analog because I understand analog makes noise. And I understand you can hear the gyro spinning and the behind it, but it sounds like it's directly in my ears. So as much as I want to have the standby, the audio needs to be changed. It's way too loud. I get that it's loud in the real airplane, and I've been in airplanes with standbys, and I've seen it, even in the 737 I've seen it. Just it's way too loud. It needs to be tuned down about. They need to reduce it by a minimal 30%, I think. Because it's just, it's not enjoyable to fly with those standbys. It's just too loud. All right, we got 2 good starts, though. I kind of lost my train of thought here. 2 good starts. We're going to arm you, and we'll do dial a flap. No, let's do flap sounds. So we're going to go 2 positions. Very fast on the deployment. Pumps stop. These flaps are still moving. You only have, it's basically 1 flap sound regardless. We are flaps 19. Let me make sure we are in the dial of flap position. We are dial of flaps 19. That checks. All right, that all APU air, that's going to come off. So we'll turn off the APU air. That's going to put you into normal. APU power. Oh. Did I click that? I forget. Let's just stop it. APU stop. We'll start stop. I can't remember. And trim for takeoff is supposed to be... You do want to make sure your trim is set because you will rotate without it. Stab trim 5 units. So we're at 3. We need to run... Oh, other direction. That's going to be right at the limit. Probably going to get an early rotation on this. 5.0 is set. 5.0 on the stab trim. That looks good. Let's do a flight control check. I'm sorry for the... for that British Airways, I'm kind of blocking you. Flight control check. Now, we'll get into the Brunner here real quick. I know Brunner is far from perfect, but I have to... we'll get to it later. Auto brake RTO. I'm trying not to be negative, y'all. I want to love this airplane. I want to love it so much. All right, takeoff. We got nav arm, profile armed. Oh, my actual question for the chat. This is the Toga button, correct? Because I'm having issues. I cannot bind it. I don't know, and I know you can bind it. I don't know what the bindings are. I got to look at the manual. It's on me. It's not a TFTI thing. But I need to figure out what this binding is and what this binding is. And this is to disengage the thrust levers. Disengage the auto thrust. Whatever I bind does not seem to work properly. I'm missing something easy, and I know it's on me. I know it's not TFDI, so I'll have to figure that out. The GA button is not to be used on takeoff. Okay, good. Well, let's I can't use my charts, so we're gonna taxi. Use my navigraph.
English traffic, UPS 271 heavy from the East Harbor, taxi runway 15 left via Alpha Alpha, November Bravo, November Echo, Whiskey Bravo, Whiskey Whiskey.
Houston traffic, American 357 heavy, taxi in a 15 left, November Bravo, Whiskey Whiskey, full length 15 left, Houston traffic. Probably take Whiskey Bravo down to... Oh, what is Whiskey Bravo? No, Whiskey Bravo's here. Whatever it is. We'll figure it out. Alright. Use auto flight to trigger Toga. Isn't the Toga my auto flight? Alright, we'll figure it out. I'll just do what I've been doing. It's been working. I thought it was bindable. I guess not. Alright. Let's go. No more messing around. Taxi light. Nose wheel it up. Here we go. Now, let's do something positive. I think this airplane on the ground, the taxiing on the ground, is better than the 777. I think this airplane feels the best for a heavy jet. One of the best that I've flown in the sim. The ground handling, taxiing around, 10 out of 10. Love it. Better than the 777. Only problem is I can't separate a tiller to nose wheel, so you can taxi with the rudder pedals, you can taxi with the tiller. There is also a discount. Cat 3 Design is making tillers again. I know I don't have the camera on right now. I need to fix that. But the tiller that I use is back in business. Cat 3 Design is now making tillers in the U.S. He's moved to the great state of Texas. Use code V1 tiller, all caps, for a discount at checkout. Oh, auto brakes. I already got the auto brakes Furious Podge. Yeah, the ground handling on this is fantastic. Feels really good. Can I move to Texas if the new government wouldn't work out? Zippy Zappo, heck yeah, man. Hi, I fly the MD-11 at 34. Okay, I can climb to 36, also increase, but I have to enter high. So where do I do that? Probably your Prague page or VNAV Prague or somewhere around there, Fabian. Oh yeah, KS, I forgot. I'll try it in cruise. Put that back on the engine. I'm assuming that's normal engine page there so you can see trim and everything. Alright, everything is cleared out. We're looking good. Alright, okay, so for takeoff, do I just select FMS speed right now? Because I got TO clamp arm, or will it just capture it as it is right now? If I bring the thrust levers up, it'll just capture it. It's government. It will never work out. Yeah, Bombtech is right, actually. You're killing me. FSprojects Airbus Captain, Throttle, Quadrant, and Tiller. I've got them or still on order. Heck yeah, J. Russ. TFDI Design, hello. Welcome to the stream. I was just complimenting how nice the ground handling is, TFDI, on the taxiing around here. I use a tiller. Speaking of, is there any way to separate a tiller axis from the rudder pedals? Because I didn't see it. Let me just double check. But that would be a cool update because the tiller taxis this airplane really nice. I love the way this airplane handles on the ground. And I'll actually just put you... I'll probably just probably leave it on that page for now. Laura's in the house. Hey, what's up? Is that coffee hitting you like it is me? No, I've been... Oh, here I am drifting off. I didn't drink all of it yet, Laura, because it's just too... it's pretty hardcore. I'm going to need it about halfway through this flight. What I didn't do, what we should do is we'll do a long haul. We should do a long haul on the MD-11, and we're going to watch, because there's some great green dot videos on the MD-11. Not Swiss 001, geez, but that Swiss Air flight that caught fire, horrific accident, but there's a lot we can take away from it. Yeah, it's not very good, Laura, but it's doing a lot. It's doing its job. Listen, what is the word? I'm saving it for cruise. Favorite Ben, I do need to do that. Diabetic Lad, I'm not sure if Green Dot has the MD-11 crashes. There's been a handful of them. That's a cool shot right there. Ah! Swiss 111, that's the one. All right, 1-5 left. This will be our full-length lineup. We're going to hold short here. Actually, no, we're actually... Oh, man, we got to do a reverse high speed here. Yeah, we went past where we need to go. So we need to cross the approach of 1-5 left to double back. Houston traffic, American 337 Heavy. We'll cross an approach and 1-5 left to double back, full length, 1-5 left, Houston traffic. So we can't make that reverse. I didn't have my taxi diagram up. I can't sync it. Oh yeah, if you're still here, TFDI, so that's an issue I had. I've tried signing in multiple times. I signed in once, and it worked great. It worked just like I expected. But then I reset, and now doesn't matter what I do, I can't log back in to the EFB, so I can't get my Navigraph on it. But it's okay. I still have my Navigraph panel. I just can't log in. Max Racing, welcome to Private Pilot Day. Glad to have you here. Are you still loving Force Feedback Yoke? I think you're doing a wonderful job representing the product. Looks like some nice piece of kit. Swim Climb. We'll talk about that in cruise, man. I got some bad news about the Brunner. I'm still using it. I love it. But as far as support is concerned, it's not very existent anymore. And I got some feedback from one of the devs that works for Brunner, and makes me nervous for the future. Like, is it going to be compatible with 25? I don't know. We'll talk about that in cruise, man. I love it. I love it. I'm having fun with it. But the future of force feedback in the next flight sim with Brunner, I don't know how it's going to work out. I don't know. I hope some of the new products with the yoke will have compatible software, because it's not about the hardware, it's the software that's talking between the yoke and the sim. That's key. And right now CLS to sim is in need of some big updates. What's it like on frames? Jungly, you know what, man? I always hate answering that question, because with frame gen, I really don't notice any difference, man. I really don't have any issues with it with frame gen. And to be honest with you, I've only flown it one other time, so. But it's not like I don't load into it and my frames are bricked out, if that helps you. I don't think it's abnormally heavy on frames by any means. I think it's actually pretty decently optimized. John says, hello, hello. I'm the QA leader for TFDI Flight
American,
Fighting
you wanna go first?
Raven. Happy to see you fly our plane. Quick tip on takeoff. Speed window is set to 250 or VCL, whichever is higher. Oh, so what's our VCL? So that is going to be 231. Okay, that makes me feel better because 161. Oh, that's the wrong knob. Let's go back to speed. 160 V2 plus 10 seemed a little suspect. What did I say it was? 231 VCL. Thank you for that. RP Games says I get good frames. Yeah, I don't have any issues with bad frames. All right, I don't think anybody's on final. Let's get out of here. Houston traffic, American 357 heavy departing runway 15 left on the flies of 5. Houston traffic. All right, let's light it up, chat. Oh, I always that gets me. High init, which are your strobes. Mouse wheel these. Will these become clickable in the future? I hope so. Here we go. Let's line her up and get out of here. Oh, whichever is higher. Oh, I can't read. Thanks, Joan. Let me speed that all the way up. 250. VCL. Okay, makes sense. Brain was not fully functioning. 250, whichever is higher. 250 or VCL. In this case, 250 is obviously more than 231, whatever it was. Chaos. Listen, man, I told you, my coffee hasn't set in yet, dude. My coffee has not set in yet. I love the way this thing taxis, though. This might be one of the best, like, well, we don't really have any other heavies other than the 777, which it taxis better on the ground than the triple, in my opinion. And we don't really have any other heavies that are out. But yeah, I mean, I'm using my rudder pedals right now because it does the same as my tiller, but if I could separate the axes, it'd be great. Brain wasn't braining. Oh, yeah, A300 swim climb. Yeah, you're right. The A300, that's a good one. It does taxi well. And it has tiller separate axis too, which is nice. All right, runway heading checks. Hey, that's a lot better than my 777 lineups. All right, chat, let's spool them up. We didn't hit 300 likes, so we're going packs on. And I believe it'll pick it up, right? The auto thrusts should pick it up. Takeoff clamp. Here we go. All right, airspeed's alive. Oh, jeez. What am I doing? What?
Autopilot.
You don't need to press auto flight. It disconnected it, man.
Autopilot.
Bots afraid gear up. Fly with. Jeez. AP off. It was set. It was set. That's why I don't read chat. That's why I don't read chat. Why would 25 degrees pitch, huh? Good night alive. Now, why is it bugging 148? Okay, there's 250 pitch nav 1. I keep hand flying her here. They were right? So why did it say autopilot off when I clicked? Airship took off. Nose down. Going for 250. My flight director really drops down there. So now we're in a descent. Flight director's a little aggressive.
Stabilizer motion.
Houston traffic, United 5 Hotel
Have to push it twice before the takeoff. See, user error. We are, yeah, flaps are. Oh, we don't need that. We need to just go straight to 37. Climb thrust 370. We don't want to. We're not dealing with the restrictions. That's where there's a level off there. I don't want to do that. Let's go. Let's go all the way up to 370, 250. All right, there we go. 250. Now look at that rocket ship. That's a cool shot right there with Houston in the background. Oh, look at that. Press it once before setting thrust. Otherwise, it won't pick it up. Press it again in flight to get autopilot.
Airbus traffic, UPS 771 heavy, clear 15 left,
Okay.
back at departure to the east.
Yeah, now we know. I'm gonna keep your hand flying here right now, though. Working that trim on the Bruner. It's so we're 9 thou. As we go through 10, we should go to our cost index climb out speed here. American 370 unrestricted climb approved. Hey, we did go YOLO on that. Bank angle check to the right. Here we come. The roll feels really good. All right, there's our 309 indicated. That's our cost index climb out speed. Got to lower that nose, run some trim in there.
Houston traffic, United 5, Hotel November.
Let's go ahead and kill our lights while we're climbing up here. Oh, scrolled it the wrong way. Hold on, let me get her trimmed out. Let's go back up here and scroll it.
Houston traffic, Delta
This
962,
way.
line up 0815 left.
Turn off lights are coming off. I mean, it flies great with the force feedback. Still a little, I still think it's responsive. It's over responsive in the pitch, but I can tweak that more with linearity settings. Who's periodically flipping the light switches? That's the trim. Trim switches are very loud. All right, so here's my issue, and again, this is a Bruner thing. We've dealt with this with the 787.
Stabilizer motion.
Why am I running? I'm almost full nose down on the trim here. Interesting. Just trying to see why I'm so nose down. Running it back now. Stay like that. Running 1.4 on the trim. It just seems, I don't know, maybe that's normal. I don't know. It just seems like the number's really close to the front. All right, here's my issue, and I'm going to show you what's going to happen here. This is a Bruner thing. I'm going to engage the auto flight. And then it's going to disengage on me. At least I think it will. Maybe it won't. Maybe I fixed it. So in the Bruner profiling and the CLS software, you can you got to tweak how accurate the autopilot is, and if it's not set right, the autopilot will keep disconnecting.
Houston traffic, Delta
The work around that is you
Takeoff
just
runway
disconnect it
15
from the
left,
sim until you
join,
get to where you
Rita
need to
4.
go. But actually, right now, it seems to be working.
Correction, Rita
So
7,
maybe I did
departure.
fix it. So that's good. We'll hit the Magic Bill ref key out of 18,000 feet. We'll climb thrust to 370. We're skyrocketing at almost 3,000 feet a minute. Cost index climb out speed looks good. Now, if I wanted to derate, I guess you can't do it anymore. Init. perf. Thrust limits. Aha. So I could bring it back more. Oh, yep, see, there it goes.
Autopilot.
See, it's fighting.
Autopilot.
That's a Brunner thing right there. So I expected that to happen. Interesting lockup there. Alright, so instead of dealing with that disconnect the whole flight, what I'm going to do is there's a workaround. Just unfortunate, I got to do it right now. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to re-engage auto flight. And now, theoretically, let's go back to full screen cam there anyway. Oops. Don't need that on there. So now she should be locked in pretty good. Now, hiding yoke, is that possible? I don't believe it is. I'm getting a weird lockup here. Hopefully that doesn't progress. It feels like every 30 seconds or so I'm getting like a sim lockup. All right, auto brakes coming to the off position. We're at 22,000 for 370. Turn it down a little bit. There's no yoke hide yet. AJ Fenari, thanks for the $3 super chat. I can officially fly one fake plane better than you. Yeah, probably, AJ. Definitely. I shouldn't have, I don't know, for some reason my takeoffs have been fine. Maybe I've just been using manual thrust on takeoff. I don't know. I just advance it up and then it seemed to be working. But that's why I should never do anything that I haven't done prior. Let me try this one more time. You missed our comment when you asked earlier. TFI did confirm you can separate tiller axis. Really? All right, maybe it's a bind. Let's see, systems, radio antenna, WBS, wind vector type, inhibit tire failure. No, I turned that on. So if we blow a tire, we're gonna have that ready to go. Single queue, no. High rate, high decel rate. Auto brake system. Nah, we don't need that. Tape displays disabled. Tape displays. What are tape displays? RCWS fuel dipstick, digital standby. Cause, callouts, performance. Don't have no high efficiency flat pylon. Deflected ailerons. This is kind of like the Florence kit, I would imagine, on the 320 series. Oh, tape displays for engines. FC Receptor, you still flying the Duke? Dude, I miss the Duke, my man. Allow hardware overforce. Oh, you know what? I wonder if that is what's causing my Brunner to disconnect. I'm going to turn that off. I bet you that's what was happening. So if you allow hardware overforce to disconnect, which is realistic, I guess in real life, well, not I guess, I know in real life, depending on the aircraft, there's multiple ways to disengage the autopilot. The incorrect way, or the oh shoot way, is by aggressively moving the yoke and you kind of break it from its position. Typically that triggers it like an autopilot failure type situation. You would see like AP fail on the Airbus anyway. That's because it's the improper way to disconnect the autopilot, but you can do it. But anyway, on the Brunner forced feedback yoke, if you allow that option on, what happens is when the Brunner software tries to move the yoke, it thinks that it's trying to overforce and disconnect the autopilot. I can almost guarantee you that's what was happening. So I think we got that fixed out. That's good. Anyway, would KLM style engine gauges? What the hell? Let's see what it looks like. I'm actually curious. Tape displays, enable, save. Ugh. No. KLM can keep that. Hopefully this doesn't crash my sim. Tape displays disabled, save. There we go. All right. Okay, we're climbing out. She's stable. She's looking good. So, make sure you profile back arm vertical modes. Make sure you profile back. Oh, yeah, we were basically an open climb, weren't we? So we need to go prof. Yeah, magenta, pitch, nav 1, climb thrust 37. So now we're all synced up, right? Everything is looking good. I got discombobulated there when I had that auto flight disconnect. Whoever said that, even though you're right, I don't like you. Screwed up my whole takeoff roll. Thank you, though. Yeah, we got the profile mode back up. So now we're all magenta. Going up to 37,000 feet. Doing 8.0 Mach like an absolute beast. Looking good. Looking good. I can't wait till the sun sets. I have not seen this airplane at all in low light conditions, so I'm curious to see what the lighting looks like. I haven't even personally tried it, so we'll see it together. You almost sounded offended with the tape display. Yeah, that was awful. Anybody who flies with that, you go seek help. You do not want tape displays. Hell, if I flew the MD-11 and then my airline had those, I'd quit. But gentlemen, I like it. It's the L1011 style. Boeing and Douglas made available for their 7.4s. It's all 7.4, man. That tape display belongs in the 7.4 period. L1011, give me the round gauges, dude. Or actually, no, you're right. It has the, but it wasn't digital tape, Gustavo, right? Unless there was a retrofit. Because we had tape displays on like the citations and stuff. There were analog tapes. Digital tapes. Oh yeah, we're gonna crash because our TCAS is standby. Let me get this before this guy has a stroke. Let's put our TCAS in TARA. Mouse wheel only up. Okay, TARA 7325. Here we go, chat. We're gonna survive. We're gonna make our way to Cancun now. Our TCAS is in TARA. Thanks, man. Captain McGee, sorry, that was probably my autoflight. Captain McGee, I'm just kidding, man. There's a stabilizer motion. Captain McGee, I'm just messing, man. You know that thing. Thanks for the support, man. 10 months. It's just, you know how it is. I know I should just do, especially on new airplanes, when I've only done like maybe 2 or 3 takeoffs, just stick with the norm. And then I start doing what chat says, and then I screw things up. But Captain McGee, don't be offended, my man. Not sure regarding the 744, but the 200-300 I had it in the DC-10-2. Really? Captain McGee. Cheers, brother. I like how Bitching Betty sounds completely unmotivated in the MD-11. I know. Yeah, she is very unmotivated. Very unmotivated. Now, let's talk. I was kind of blown away by the takeoff roll and all of the like craziness that happened. So we didn't get to really discuss the flight model in its basic form. So before I get into this on the flight model, understand that I'm using the Brunner force feedback yoke. It takes it takes data from CLS to Sim, which is a software program that reads data from Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I have said it before, and I've said it many times, that having a force feedback yoke, while it's far from perfect on some add-ons, 777 included, while it's far from perfect on some add-ons, it makes every airplane fly extremely well. Because you're literally taming and putting pressures on the yoke. It's a control loading device is really what it is. And you can take some of the pitchiest airplanes and really make them feel smooth, even with full linear settings, okay? With full linear settings, you throw the force feedback yoke on there and it flies believable. Case in point, say like the Coronado Piper Seminole, right? That airplane in real life is, I mean, in the sim, it's extremely pitchy. It's default flight model. It's Coronado. Beautiful model, but it's Coronado, right? So, with that said, this is the first airplane that I have ever had to change the linearity settings for pitch. In my opinion, and I have never flown an MD-11, but in my opinion, not necessarily the way it pitches, but the speed at which it pitches and the way it returns to like a, what is the technical term, Gustavo? Positive static stability or neutral stability? Yeah, it's just going back in the aerodynamic days. I don't know, man. So what I've done on my yoke is I've adjusted, and this is what's really cool about the CLS software, is I can change the linearity settings. And what I mean by that is I can add a curve to my pitch sensitivity only on a certain speed regime. So for instance, I have put a non-linear pitch from 0 knots to right about 210 knots. I think I actually upped it for this stream. I think I got it at 230 knots. So from 0 to 230 knots, I have a pretty significant curve to try to dampen out some of that pitch sensitivity. Almost sounds like the wrong word to use, but for lack of better word, that pitch sensitivity is extremely sensitive. And someone said here, no inertia. That, Airbus Geek, you're absolutely correct. And that has plagued Microsoft Flight Sim for a long time, is the lack of inertia, not just with this airplane, just with, and I want to pause, I'll come back to this airplane, but just in general, Microsoft Flight Sim, the inertia is almost non-existent in this simulator. And I'm hoping that gets changed with Microsoft 2024. Now, there are some add-ons that I don't know how they do it, but they make it feel like you've got some inertia in certain regimes of flight. Case in point, this airplane, I feel like it really has an inertia on the ground when I'm taxiing around. That's super heavy weights, get that breakaway thrust in there. It's kind of slow to respond, but slow to respond in a good way, meaning that like you feel like you're moving that nose wheel over. There's a lot of weight that you're moving. You're making turns, like making that reverse turn there on the taxiway, which was a 45-degree opposite. Like, there's no way we could have done it. Did we blast through 37? No, we're 36.6. Don't be scaring me now, Captain McGee. Captain McGee, settle down, Captain Happy. You're trying to get me in trouble again. We're leveling at 370. It's how inertia is done in the game engine. Okay, so Gustav, that's, I guess, yeah. But the inertia on the ground feels pretty dang good. Like I said, I think it taxis better than the 777 on the ground. But in pitch, at low speeds, man, that thing just like, it's bobbly. I feel like it's bobbly. Now, is that a characteristic of the MD-11? Maybe it is, and I can be totally off base. So remember, take this all with a grain of salt. But I think a good way to describe it is bobbly. So I've had to make a pretty significant curve from 0 knots to about 230 knots. And with that curve, it's actually quite enjoyable. Now, it's still a little fast to react, and I may continue to tweak it. Here we are leveling at 37,000 feet. But if you do have a non-force feedback yoke, I would imagine that a pitch curve is going to be an absolute must, or some type of linearity adjustment in your Microsoft settings to kind of dampen that, or try to give your sim an artificial feeling of inertia. Maybe even move that reactivity down a little bit. I think that might be a way to do it. That's how I feel about the pitch there. And if you guys have it, let me know what you think in chat. Is this a Bruner thing? Maybe I should throw my TCA yoke on there just to see and make sure it's not a hardware issue on my end. But as I said at the beginning, this is the only airplane I've ever had to put a pitch curve in with force feedback. Like, I've had to do it. This is the only one I've ever had to do it in. And I don't quite know why that is. I just know that's how it is. Now, is there a weather radar weather on? Because this is what I wanted to test. I wanted to see if we'll pick up any weather data. Now, I know weather data in the sim is like, you know, leave it weather. Put weather turbulence on. Man gain. Turn that gain up. Right about there. Why is gain, am I minimum gain -7, max gain -1, calibrated? So on the Airbus we run these at calibrated. Did you ever consider that this is a skill issue? Is there an LSAS off button? What's LSAS off button, Gustavo? I feel like, am I going crazy? Let's see, min gain -7, max gain 0. Maybe that is correct. We'll put the gain on max just to give ourselves a chance of seeing anything, hopefully. Let's increase the range. Weather range 320. Now, we're still a ways out. We're about to hit kelp. We'll turn the seatbelt sign off. Ladies and gentlemen, you're now free to move about the cabin. Cloud band's up ahead. Yeah, I saw that. You're out in front of me a good ways, Team Vok. Team Vok is in a Lear 35 out there today, so hopefully, oh yeah, that's gonna be nice. I think we might see something, Chad. I think we might see something. Let's sit on the jump seat for a little while. Let's continue our pontificating. Ooh, sideways jump seat. Love it. Meow, meow. We have window shades? It's MD-11. They probably don't have any window shades. That's why everyone has got skin issues. You need to wear that sunscreen up here. LSAS, MCAS before it was cool. Oh. I have to look for it. I don't know if there is. Yeah, A300 seems pretty good. The A300 really seems good too with that inertia type feeling. I don't remember the PMDG being hard to land or anything. I flew the hell out of it and always did great landings. Yeah, PMDG I feel good. PMDG feels good. It's supposed to feel sluggish from what I heard. YouTube Father Time describing it. Retired MD-11 type grid captain. Okay, Vanguard. So it should feel sluggish, which to me that it means it should feel like there's inertia behind the pitch. And in my opinion, it's not there. And it needs to be, I don't know if it needs to be adjusted, but like in my opinion, it should be adjusted because from what I've felt, it's way too aggressive. That's funny. You mentioned positive dynamic stability. Commercial check ride next week. There you go, Javier. No weather radar and no terrain radar. Oh, really, Airbus Geek? I thought I saw someone post where like it'll show like the default weather radar. Maybe that was a 777. I know the long hauls are in style now, but any chance of a Duke stream anytime soon or TBM? You're by far the best streamer for GA content. I'd really enjoy a stream. John Seifert. I'd love to get back in the Duke here, man. Maybe this weekend. We'll see, dude. We'll see. I think you have to enable it besides the range switch on the glare shield. It's like the weather radar on the MD-11. Oh. Besides the range. Oh, weather push on off. Oh, so that's terrain. Is on by default. Weather brightness. I'll turn it all the way up just in case we do see anything. Turn it all the way up. Tilt is 0, so should be a hurricane out here somewhere. There are some clouds starting to form out in front of us. MD-11 is famous for being twitchy in the pitch axis in real life. Okay. I mean, I guess then it's just lack of inertia is what we're struggling with. Hasso Basso, good to see you, man. Back from a long vacation. Where's the Korean jazz? Hey, we'll fire it up here in just a minute, man. LSAS is modeled, and you can turn it off on the overhead. LSAS, so some type of stabilization before it was cool, huh? Be here. LSAS, inboard air. Okay. I would imagine that would be an abnormal. This would be an abnormal to turn it off, so I'm going to leave it on. Unless y'all think I should turn it off. Does that make it fly differently? But LSAS is modeled, and here it is right here. Let me see if I can pull out the documentation. We'll take a look at it. Thinking about hitting some shrooms to get the fire handles. Bomb Tech, get back out there. Kick Bomb Tech out of here. We'll do a cabin tour as well, too. Just had to kick Bomb Tech out. I love how aggressively this door shuts. That was the first time I ever did that. And it just, I was like, let's kick Bomb Tech out of here. And literally, if I was kicking Bomb Tech out of the cockpit in real life, that's exactly what it would look like. Get the hell out of here. I love it. Absolutely love it. What about elevator feel switch? So it's all right here. Elevator feel. Pull for manual. Let's dig into this. You guys might be onto something here. Yep, disable it and test in flight. What could go wrong? No. I'm surprised Captain Gee didn't tell me to do that. Yeah, the Duke is a work of art. Got the Piston Duke a few days ago. It flies really. John, dude, the Piston Duke. You guys know how much I love the PT6. But man, that Piston Duke is so fun to fly. I don't know why. I feel spoiled in the Turbine Duke. I feel like it's easy man mode. You got all the power you need. You can rocket up to cruise altitude, and you can just chop and drop, come straight down. Piston, you kind of feel like you got to baby it. Let me dig into this, chat. So let's, in our study here, let me put you all back on the jump seat. Let me pull out the old handy dandy RTFM here. Disable it. No, Gustavo, I'm not disabling it. Not yet. Let me go into this here. Now, we may do some pattern work with it on or off. LMNOP T comes after that. All right, MD-11. Let me see where the data. Is there a manual set? Surely there's a manual set. Sim objects? No. Nope. Oh, is it one of those where you have to download the manual separately, maybe? EFB content. There is online. Without autoflight, it provides an increased response of the longitudinal axis. It doesn't make it less spicy, it makes it easier to operate. So without the autoflight, with autoflight off and the elevators, or that LSAS disabled, it's easier to handle. Very interesting. Okay, so maybe y'all are onto something. So maybe the bobbliness that I've described is by design. Maybe by design. Well, if the manual's online, I'm not gonna look it up here in a minute. Oh, we need to be on 22.8, by the way. 22.8. Oh yeah, TFDI, if you're still here, please make these easier to rotate around. All right, clicking. No, clicking doesn't work. No click and drag. Oh wait. No, the only way to do this is to mouse wheel it. Man, I need to make it mouse wheel faster. Bobbliness, it's a technical term. It's not easier, but you will have less things trying to correct what you're doing. Okay, so it's like instead of fighting the stability is what you're saying. Here's the thing though, on landing, Gustavo, I really didn't have any complaints, man. The only landing I attempted, I didn't really bother me all that much. Now, the second one, it did. I pretty much bounced it into the grass. Hold on, I got a schedule alert situation here. Oh. What did I miss? On the 6th. What's today? Oh, tomorrow. I wouldn't have worked anyway. Alright. Let's get some Korean jazz on. We need some classical music. Oh boy, Mickey G's in the house. This is American, like, back in the day on the luxury liner. We need some classical music. Let me turn this to 1. There we go. Where's a good shot? Where's a good angle? Ooh. That's pretty spicy. Mickey G, thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Excuse me. Oh boy, fake pilot versus MD-11. I'll have to catch the replay later. Whatever you do, don't go watch the takeoff, Mickey G. Don't watch the takeoff because we pretty much bobbled that one. But thank you for the $10 super chat, man. Hope you're well, dude. This is like change from normal aircraft to the Airbus fly-by-wire. You can easily over-control and make it worse. Ah. Well, I posted LSAS section in the Discord. Ooh, AJ's making our life easier. Thanks, man. Let me take a look at it. Let me take a look, AJ. We'll go over this LSAS. Ugh, see, it looks gray from that angle. That's kind of a cool shot right there, the tails. Doctor, you don't like this song? Fine. It's like too slow. Hold on. Contemporary classical. There we go. There we go, a little reflection. There's what we want. Okay, this song sounds good. This song reminds me of an old FSX video I used to watch. AJ, where'd you post this at, brother? Let's see. LSAS. Okay, here we go. Is the music too loud? Pitch altitude or pitch attitude hold and automatic pitch trim with no force on the control column. The bank angle is less than 30 degrees. LSAS holds the elevator as much as 5 degrees. Horizontal stabs automatically adjusted to relieve the sustained elevator deflection and maintain a full 5-degree elevator authority. Pitch attitude limiting. LSAS maintains pitch attitude to less than 10 degrees of dive. Okay, so it's to keep you out of trouble, it looks like. Pitch rate dampening increases apparent static stability to reduce the chance of over control and pitch. Okay, so pitch rate dampening should be on because pitch rate dampening increases the apparent static stability to reduce the chance of over control and pitch. It is active throughout the flight envelope. 100% of max damping is available above 20,000 feet, decreasing linearly to 30% below 16.5. Came back and thought you were reading an aviation poem. What's up, Sipco? Good to see you, man. Speed protection. If the autopilot is not engaged and the auto throttle is not available or able to maintain a safe speed, LSAS speed limiting will engage to provide overspeed or stall protection. It's almost like a cheap alpha floor. LSAS overspeed protection is accomplished by changing pitch. LSAS does not provide flap, slat, or gear overspeed protection, so you can still rip the appendages off, but if you are overspeeding, it looks like it's going to pitch up to slow you down, and or if you're too slow, lower the nose. Oh, here we go. Stall, no, not too slow. Stall protection at 75 to 85% of the angle of attack required to activate the stick shaker. The LSAS stall protection engages. So let's go back up here real quick. So we have elevator, yaw dampers, flap limit, auto, pull for manual elevator feel. Interesting. Winky, yeah, he just sent me an email, man. I got to get back to him. Yeah, he just picked up the Bruner, which is sweet, so he can make some profiles for the 777. Now, the 777 is still not fully compatible with the Bruner, which is unfortunate, but we can get it close, hopefully. Autopilot engaged below 100 feet RA. Pilot can override the LSAS if when below... This music's putting me to sleep, chat. I can't do it. It's putting me to sleep, y'all. It's putting me to sleep. We need to go to, like... Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Nope. Let me just pause it for now. I'm not feeling it, man. I'm not feeling those tunes right now. Back to what I was looking at here, though. Below 100 feet RA, here we go, this is important. Below 100 feet RA, except active for pitch attitude protection during takeoff and positive nose lowering during landing. The auto LSAS is off when below 100 feet RA, except active pitch for attitude protection during takeoff and positive nose lowering during landing. Really. Bank angle exceeds 30 degrees. During manual trim operation, pilot can override LSAS if when below 1,500 feet, more than 2 pounds of pressure is applied to the control column. So it seems, so you get to have some pretty heavy control column forces there. Or when 10 to 15 pounds of force is applied while PAP or P&L is active. Pilot can override LSAS overspeed or stall protection by using enough manual force on the control column. 50 pounds to defeat LSAS inputs. Oh wait, so this is getting spicy. So really, there's a whole lot of protection / automation to keep the airplane from getting you in trouble. Interesting. I wonder if that is having an effect with the rudder. You know, maybe that's why it feels like I'm fighting something. Or why it just was so aggressive. I don't know. YouTube channel Air Clips has some great old MD-11 videos of full flights. Yes, I know, man. John, there's some great ones on there, dude. You know what I've been watching is I had a LA Live or something. I don't know. It was like plane spotting in LAX like 2000. And you see all the MD-11s, L-1011s, 727s shows up. Plane spotting back in like 2000, early aughts. So much juice, man. So much juice. Oh, looks like we have some formations, clouds up there. Look at this, chat. We might be approaching a hurricane here very soon. Let's do a quick cabin tour. Bomb tech, stay out of the flight deck. So this is something I have not seen yet. Especially because everybody who's been flying has been flying a freighter version, which is cool, but I think most content creators who fly freight, they don't understand how miserable freight life actually can be. So it's over glorified. I could never be a freight dog anymore, man. I get it. You're on an MD-11. You're on bigger, better aircraft, but it's just not for me. Not for me. This is a pretty nice cabin. So we got the 222 first class here. Very cool. Just planes. Yeah, small snack. That's why. Yeah, that's the one. Just planes. Yeah, just planes. I literally had it up on the TV yesterday when we were doing our 4th of July stuff. Very cool first class section here. That's where all our members are sitting. Very nice, very nice. Here's our mid galley. And no one has ever met a 70-plus-year-old freight dog. No, dude. The payout for FedEx and UPS at 60, it's like 67 is pretty much it. If you fly your career there, a lot of guys still make it past 67. Now, a lot of that's going to have to do on what your personal schedule is, but it's a fact, man. Look at this cabin, though. So we've got a 5.2. A 252. Look at that. That is pretty cool. The devs know about finessing the pitch and LSAS systems. No need to overthink it right now. Just be very timid on the yoke for now. Good idea. Phil thought? Pilot? Like pilot. All right, man. No, that's a good idea. No, well, like I said, not overthinking the pitch. I literally just put a curve in there, and it seems much better, much dampened. I was just saying that, like right now, if you have, make sure you have some type of curve in there initially to work on the finessing that. But yeah, without it, it's very, very twitchy. C, D, E, F, G in the middle. Good night. Could you imagine sitting right here, middle seat? It's like the longest MD-11 passenger flight. We gotta Google that. What was the longest MD-11 passenger flight? I like how it doesn't lock you out. I like being able to just go through the windows. I don't have to do any hack viewing. So I like that I can just go out there. Pretty decent. The model's good. Texturing could be a little better. I think that's maybe a livery thing. I bet you some hardcore livery painters can make this look pretty good. I can't wait for Whiskey Throttle's liveries. I know he's working on a Martin Air Cargo one to All-Italian. I really want the All-Italian one. I went from Baltimore to Ramstein, Germany on an MD-11. Whew. Was it World? Who'd you take over there? World? I imagine you're probably contract. I almost flew a World livery. I figured I'll save that for XB72 since you actually used to fly for. Curve is the key, makes it much better, yes. Flying the 777, so my dad got for birthday, it's amazing. Heck yeah, the 777 is a lot of fun, man. It would be miserable to have that middle seat. Yes, it would. 252. Nice to be able to pull faster in the middle. Freight dog is a single and divorced man's game. Steven, you're absolutely right, dude. If you're not divorced, you probably are on the path to being it. I don't know. Unless you hit it right and you're like the super senior guy. It's all about timing. But the majority, good luck. Now this, man, imagine being this seat right here. and then having no... This is what you're going to look at for 10 hours. You have no TV screen. Just prior... They didn't put up a TV screen for you in the economy class. And you're just going to sit here and look at this wall. Interesting. Are these the monitors? I think these are monitors right here. These are the old school monitors. Yeah, all you like Gen Zers are like, what are the boxes hanging down from the ceiling? Well, that's what TV looked like back in the day. I remember watching when I was on the L-1011 to Hawaii. There was I can't remember what the movie was. I just remember watching TV up there. Tyler Smith, 34 months, dude. Appreciate the support, dude. Very, very cool, man. Thank you for the 34 months. Approaching, let's see, 36 is 3 years, man. Jeez. Alexa Rastas coming in 38 months of support. Appreciate you, Alexi Rastas. Over 3 years. Oh my, bourbon for this on glass. Oh yeah. I could go for a nice little bourbon right now too. Thank you for the support. You guys are awesome. Thank you. TV wasn't inverted yet. Wasn't invented yet on this flight. So what's interesting is, let's see. So I know it's going to be slightly different, but the L-1011, I want to say my first ever flight on an L-1011. I know it's not the same necessarily. It was similar to here. Yeah, that would we were definitely behind something. It just doesn't line up correctly. But I remember having to look at about this angle to watch TV, right about there. Was the angle I was watching TV from as a little kid. I looked out here and I was like, oh my gosh, that wing is so large. But let's continue on down here. How many rows we got in this puppy? We're passing row 28. We were excited when we saw those screens on a flight. Yes, Aaron. Good to see you, man. I still can't believe we used to watch movies leaning our heads to the aisle. I know, A-Rot. I know, dude. Ooh, vacant. Shall we go in here? Ah! Uninstalling. No toilets. 0 for 10. Uninstalling. How would you like to be this guy right here? Sitting right next to the poopers. I bet that smelled good. Oh, but you can watch TV. Yeah. That seat sucks. Now, if this was an MD-11 in 2024, they'd squeeze in another row of seats right here. Aft galley, pretty spacious. Are these quartz countertops? Wow, look at this. Ooh, we've got some on decaf, light roast and dark roast. This is my first time coming back here, so I'm kind of taking my time. Pretty nicely done, little galley here. Very, very high dollar countertops here. Right under the intake there, or actually right under the number 2 engine. Actually, let's see. Let's hack our way up. Look at that. So you're pretty much right under the engine when you're in this aft galley. That's crazy. No S duct though, which is sad. I'm a huge S duct fan. No S duct on this bird. It's just straight up engine. Can we see? There we go. There's the acoustic lining. That's actually pretty highly detailed. The spinner rotation needs work. It just looks kind of meh. That's without frame gen too, right there. So that's the same on the front too. I don't know. I mean, it's not the worst one I've seen, but I'll take the dark roast, 2 cream, 1 cream, 2 sugars. You got it, Steven. I'll deliver it to Steven here. We'll bring our coffee up. I can't believe people smoked in a pressurized space. I know. You know the reason why they stopped smoking on airplanes wasn't for your health. It's because it's costing the airlines too much money to change the HEPA filters. Isn't that crazy? Those HEPA filters kept clogging up. All right, here you go, Steven. Let's get your coffee. Here you go, sir. And like, if you get a snack or something and you're in that middle seat, 2 people have got to get their hands on it before you get it, and their grimy hands on it. Probably just came out of the lab, didn't wash his hands, and they touch your food plate, hand it to you. Ugh. Let's make our way back to the front, make sure we're not flying in any hurricane up here. Modeled flushing toilets makes any plane an insta-buy. It's pretty rare. It's pretty rare, Team Vodka. Buckeye Fly, I'm having a lot of fun flying this plane, but it has a lot of shortcomings. I would agree, man. It's just there's a lot of it. Just is like I said. It's just it smells like P3D. A lot of this airplane just smells like P3D. Some of the textures remind me of P3. Now the cabin, I gotta say, this cabin is I really like it. The door is a little suspect, but maybe we're saving frames. I don't know. This is not. I know people are going to complain about the door, but this is not something that personally bothers me because I'm not going to sit here and sim from the door view. And if having these doors throughout the airplane gives me 2 FPS, I'll take it. Doesn't bother me. It's quite the long cabin here. I've actually sat in the very middle seat on a 252 777 from Dallas to Tokyo. Wow, dude. 14 hours of that. Hey, Rod, I agree with you, man. Yeah, for right now, it just seems like a beta. Like, if this was a beta release, I'd be like, yeah, this is a really good beta aircraft. But it needs some cleaning up, you know? It needs some cleaning up right there in the spinners. The sounds need cleanup. Clean up on the sounds. Clean up on aisle sounds, please. Great cabin. I mean, honestly, this is a great cabin. This is a strong point of this airplane. If you like to spend time in your cabin, you won't be disappointed, I don't think. I really think this is a nice cabin. Good frames, good FPS through here. Really no complaints for me from the cabin. Obviously, you got some light and stuff shining through weird areas, but I'm not one of those that's super harp on the cabins. All right. Palmtech, make sure you didn't touch anything here. Get out of here. Where are we at? Let's see if we can figure out our navigraph. We're approaching Keeley. Oh, wow, we're ripping, chat. What are we doing? We're doing 8.2 Mach. Perf page. Can we do 8.3? Ice detected. 8.3 Mach. Let's bump it up. Ice detected, huh? Bueller? Where? Oh, anti-ice. Engine anti-ice is on, and hey, look, this is what we're gonna do. Oh, those probably should have been on. I'm gonna do wing and tail for Microsoft Flight Simulator purposes, chat. For Microsoft Flight Simulator purposes, we're gonna turn it all on because we don't want to just stall up and roll over like Shaq Oatmeal did on the shorts videos. Yeah, Spurious, yeah. Yeah, back in the smoking days, man, they got absolutely jacked up. All right, so we're not far from TOD, honestly. We've got some time still, but I wanna see if I can get my charts. Let's try this one more time. Sign in from Navigraph. And somebody said I gotta do something in settings, right? So first and foremost, let me go back to Navigraph. Nope, not NavBlue. Navigraph. Have you ever used LifeScope? Yeah, man, I use it all the time. I hate it, but I gotta use it to compete. Victor Juliet Zulu. Victor Lima. Juliet Victor Tango. Nothing. Okay. So someone said I had to go into my Navigraph. Thing is, where do I like devices? So I need to sign out of the MD-11. Okay. And now I will redo it. So I'm signed out. Let's go here and back to charts. Give me a new code. Let's see if this works. Again, this is the first airplane I've ever had this issue with. 6 Juliet 45 Foxtrot Victor 5 Golf. Survey says nothing. No change. So I'm pretty much locked out of Navigraph for some reason. Cannot get my Navigraph to work. Which is bizarre because I had it working before the stream. 100% had it working before the stream. So I don't know what's happened. I'm locked out. Maybe I need to do a hard reset of MSFS. So we have been all over the place with this plane and don't have this Navigator problem. Sharp, and that... It only happened when I went live on the stream. I loaded in a couple times because I was changing my force feedback settings. No issues. Worked just fine. Use the QR code. Man, ain't nobody got time to put Navigraph on their phone, dude. Wow. I don't even know what my password is, man. I have to find what my password is so I can log in on my phone. Woof. I logged in under my... Let me see. P-Lot logged in with his QR code. Oh my word, that's too funny. That's too funny. So it's obviously something going on with either my Chrome or something, right? That's too funny, man. Thanks, P-Lot. All right. Here's the thing, chat. We are going to get, regardless if no ice detected. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn it off. We'll get the wing and tail off. We'll leave the windshield ice on. I guess we'll kill these as well until it pops back up. But we're going to do a thorough briefing of our arrival going in here because even though we're not going to see it on the radar, it doesn't appear. We're going to be flying through some pretty gnarly weather, and we might be getting bumped around. And by the time we get on the approach, we don't want to be low and slow with this airplane. We got to stay ahead of this airplane. You should always be ahead of your airplane. Doesn't matter what airplane you're flying. You always want to be ahead of the airplane. But we definitely want to be ahead of this one. So we're planning on the ILS DME 12 left. Let me quickly get a weather update for Cancun. Let me see. And now there's actually a weather in the ACARS, which is cool. I'll show you guys here. Let me just do this in cheat mode weather. Right now it's not bad. 150 at 26 miles, towering cumulonimbus clouds, overcast at 7 thou, 29 or 78, 30 degrees outside. So we will still land on 12 left, which is good. Now let me show you this because this actually works pretty cool. We'll go to our menu. We'll go to ACARS. We'll go weather. Actually, is this how I did it? I did it another way before. How did I do it before? I think it was pre-flight I got the weather. I got pre-flight ATIS. Let's see what the ACARS message is. So hold on real quick. Let's go back. Receive messages. ATIS, ATC received. No. Miscellaneous received. METAR Cancun. Hey, look at that. Love that. And yeah, so 190 at 140 at 19 gust 3.2. So we got a significant gust factor going in here, which is not going to fare well for my intent to land flaps 50. Should we land flaps 50, yo? It looks so cool. But I feel like landing flaps 50 and gusts up to 30 is almost suicidal. Screw it, we're going to do it because it looks so cool for juice on replay. So we're going to do a flaps 50 land, VAP 147. Probably not do that in real life. Maybe flaps 50 was even prohibited. I'm not sure. Was flaps 50 prohibited? Or am I thinking 727 when they had the lockout at 47 or whatever it was? Does gusting 35 mean adds 35 knots to the 19 sustained winds? No. So gust 3.5 or gust 3.2 means that gust is 32 knots. You're gusting to 32, not 32 plus 19. Good question, though. Now, depending on your SOP and your operator, they may do a additive for gusts. So a common one, the most common is all of the steady state and half the gust. Or, is that right? For us on the 320, it's very simple. You add whatever you feel like you need to add because you always get +5. Add a couple knots on there if you need it. But on the Embraer, it was, I want to say it was half the steady state and all of the gust. That can't be right. A-Rot, what is it on the Embraer? Either way, there's a limit too of which you can add, because if you can't just add 30 knots on your VAP, because now you're lying to your performance data, and you're also probably not going to be within your flap limitation speed. So there is a limitation on it. So for the Airbus, it's specifically VLS plus 15. So half steady state, all the gust. There you go. So half steady state, all the gust. And in this case, you would probably exceed our flap limitation, because it would be, so half the steady state of 19, let's just call it 9, plus a gust factor of 20-something knots. So VREF plus 20 is going to be your max on the Embraer. You're not going to be able to do that. So you would have your max additive here. On this particular airplane, I'm not sure what the max additive is, but we're definitely going to add some. So VREF 142, added 5 automatically. Let's start out of the gate with an additional 5 knots. So let's call it 153. Well, that'd be 6 knots. That's fine. Let's give it 153. We'll give it an additional 6 knots there. Flap 28 minimum, speed 150. Okay. That's actually pretty, I like how that's displayed. Clean minimum 199, slat extension minimum 161. It's actually kind of handy. So we've got our speeds set. As far as the approach phase is concerned, let's pull out our approach charts here. ILS DME number 3, 1-2 left. Now there's no pinning of the charts, from what I understand. 110.7 and 125. Now we have to, is there any auto? I'm pretty sure it auto tunes, because when I did a test sector, it auto tuned just fine. Just making sure everything looks good here. And there's nothing to tune down there, and there's no like rad nav page to tune in on, is there? Progress page, perf page, nothing there. What's our ref page? Oh, ref index. Does auto tune, so yeah, it's ILS auto tune. So we're pretty much set. We have it in the box. Let's verify that. ILS 1-2 left number 3. There's a couple of hard mandatory altitudes on there. We'll take a look at the chart. I know coming in over Vixie, mandatory at 4,000. On the Vomar 1 Alpha, which is this chart here, we're picking it up from Vomar. We're coming down. Vixie's at 4,000, so we'll set 4,000 for our initial. And I tell you what, should we straighten the line? Now let's go towards the right. We are definitely entering on top of a hurricane area here. It'll auto tune at 25 nautical miles. Beautiful. So we're first off, we're actually contrailing now. Look at that. That's so cool. 3 cons. 3 contrails. Don't see that every day. Oh, that's a shot right there. That's the shot. But inside, we are literally on top of the weather. So let's get the seatbelt sign on. Let me mouse wheel it the opposite direction. That's intuitive. Oh, ladies and gentlemen from the flight deck. As you've noticed, I've just turned the seatbelt sign on here. As we're approaching an area of weather, you're probably familiar with Hurricane Beryl. Courtesy of our dispatcher today, we decided to fly right over the top of it. So as of abundance of caution, we've got that seatbelt sign on here just in case we encounter some uncontrollable turbulence. Right now we're about 300 miles from our destination. The weather down there, it's hot, humid, and rainy. Appreciate your business. Thank you for flying on the American Luxury Liner. All right, so we're making the turn, going directly towards where the hurricane should be. Now, I don't know if we're going to get any turb on this, and I wonder if this is the point of emphasis for Microsoft 25, because I don't know how they generate turbulence in the sim. Oh, but that looks amazing. See, like, I want to love this airplane so much. I want to love it. And I think we're going to get there, chat. I know I'm very critical of some things on this bird. And I think for $80, any purchaser reserves the right to be pretty critical, because when you drop an airplane for the price of $80, now you could get it for $70 if you just get one bearing. I got both, and I will pick up the added variant for the complex where they have failures and stuff, which I actually am completely okay with them charging more for circuit breaker simulation and or failures or whatever. Like that actually doesn't bother me at all, because I understand probably less than 1% of simmers will use that. I think it's a huge bonus if it's included within, it's just one price. But if you're really going to have a detailed simulation and you're putting the time into it, I don't have a problem with them charging, you know, a couple extra bucks for that variant. Now, going back to my original train of thought here, $80 out of the gate though for just passenger and freighter variant. You reserve the right to be critical of things, especially when there are airplanes on the platform that are more advanced, have better sounds, cleaner textures, and better manipulation of the switches for less money. So you got to be, it's got to be cleaned up. It's got to be cleaned up, and I think it will. I think it will. As far as TFDI design, I saw their post where they said they're the point of emphasis and they're going to work on some stuff and get some stuff updated. Hey, I'm all for it. I can't wait to see what they bring forward, because it's the only three-holer we got in the sim right now, and the three-holer is my absolute favorite. Unfortunately, we don't have a DC-10 or L-1011, so we got to love this bird. So I'm rooting for TFDI. I know their 717 was stellar, and I think maybe that's why I personally feel not let down. I'm more so surprised, maybe. Because the 717 also had weird click switching or switch manipulation, but that was, I mean, P3D is just kind of weird in general. But that product was so clean, I was kind of expecting the same. You know what I'm saying? What's the best turbulence settings? King Bob's Kingdom. That's a great question. You know what? I think we turned ours down. Let me check. I hate to do this while flying, because somebody said we had to turn it down for the Fenix a long time ago. Let's check. Where is it, chat? Flight model, accessibility. No. Is it under piloting? Hold on. Assistance. Failure and damage. Aircraft systems. Where is it? Piloting. Turbulence. Let's try realistic. Phoenix suggests low. I've had it on medium this whole time. I'm curious. Are we going to get any turbulence now? We literally just went from medium to realistic according to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Let's see if anything changes, especially where we are. Ozman says exterior textures and model details are getting reworked over the next few months. Hey, Ozman, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm all for it. Like, I think it can be done, and I love this dirtiness here on this flap here. This is a livery thing, I believe, because I had another livery that had clean flaps. I wasn't too much of a fan, but I definitely think. Ooh, that's kind of a cool shot. Saw the little upper layer. I definitely think they can get. I mean, I know they can get there. I just think the MD-11 is not there quite yet. Low, everything else is out of whack with wind changes. Ooh, maybe that's a point, Al. So when the wind reloads. Low for Phoenix, but I use realistic for GA. Sometimes it's a little too much, though. All right, we'll see. I really haven't seen any issues with it on medium this whole time. So let's run it at realistic and see if anything changes. Realistic is bonkers. We shall see. Right now it's gusting 37 down there in Cancun, so that turn kind of messed up our angle for the. I tell you what, let's take it direct. Should we go Betas? Yeah, what the hell? We'll just go direct Betas. I was gonna say let's make the turn direct Vomar. Paul Newman, good to see you, man. What would you rate this plane out of 10 so far? I think I'd give it a 7.5. I think I'd give it a 7.5 out of 10. if 10 is basically unattainable, because I would put Fenix at 9.5. I would place this, and I'd put the PMDG 777 since everyone seems to have that airplane now too. Let's see if I would have ranked it on the same scale mentally. I'd put the PMDG at probably an 8.5. The 777 sounds being the biggest work needing. You know, I think with a solid sound update from PMDG, probably a 9 on the 777. I think I think it's up there. The only reason it's not a 9.5 is because it doesn't have the in-depth failure simulation, which is, it doesn't bother a lot of people, and that's fine. But if you're going to rate an airplane, I mean, the Fenix has got all the in-depth failures too. So don't tell Bill. My rating is a 6, Captain McGee. Oh, Ronald James, about force feet belt. Force feet belt. I read Laser Shark's comment above you. No smoking sign off. Oh, you know what? Yeah, what the hell? Since we're above the, since we're above a hurricane right now, you're now free to smoke about the cabin. The Brunner. So Team Vodka reached out to Brunner, opening a support ticket, and basically right now the biggest issue with the force feedback with the Brunner specifically in the 777 is there's a fix that I've heard of. I think Team Vodka has it, where right now it's identifying the PMDG 777 as a 737 because those it will actually identify the airplane and it will link your hydraulic pressure and all that, which is really cool. But it's confusing the 777 for a 737, and the autopilot syncing does not work at all. So like, it doesn't bother me a ton, but I guess I get that a lot of people want the force feedback yoke to see their yoke moving with the autopilot, which is a cool feature, and it works on a lot of GA planes. But to get it to work with airliners and complex autopilots and stuff, it really struggles. So for most of my airliner profiles that I have with force feedback, when the yoke is moving in the cockpit, I don't even see the yoke moving, even though it should be and has the potential to. And the reason it doesn't is because the software is not updated to work with that add-on. So the lack of software support through Brunner makes the force feedback yoke that I have not fully compatible with everything. And for the price you pay for the Brunner, you should at the very least have a existent support staff working on updates, or at the very least answering issues that you're encountering with the software. But that pretty much doesn't happen. So for that price of the Brunner's, what, $1,500? It makes me scratch my head. And with a lot of the basic airplanes, and I say basic meaning they don't have complex VNAVs and stuff, so the Duke, all the Duke pistons, the King Air, you guys see me fly the King Air here on the channel, and the yoke actually moves with the autopilot. Works great. I mean, the King Air and the Duke are probably my favorite airplanes to fly with the force feedback, honestly. Out of all the airplanes, those are my two favorite. But other airplanes that come out and they talk to the sim differently, or maybe they run something externally, it really jacks with the software, and it limits what is capable through the force feedback system, or the load, or like the control loading device that you have is more capable of what it's actually doing, because there's no support for the software that it's reading. And that's, to me, that's really unfortunate. Ice detected. So let's go ahead and get them all on. Now, I also am hesitant about all these other force feedback companies that are dropping, because I don't know, like right now I'd love to just go out and get the CLS 60 from FLITE sim that I saw on the Expo. Or I didn't see, but I saw on the YouTube Expo presentation. When it says CLS 60, I'm assuming they use CLS to sim. And it's going to have the same problems that the Brunner has. And I think that's why, if you look at the force feedback demonstrations at the Expo, a lot of them weren't in Microsoft Flight Simulator, at least the ones that I saw online. If you were at the Expo, let me know if you saw force feedback stuff being used with any airliners specifically. You might have seen some GA stuff because GA stuff seems to work pretty good with CLS to sim. But yeah, I hope that with all these products coming out here with force feedback in the future, I really hope that they have a dedicated support team working on the software integration with the sim, especially going into 25. Hopefully things work smoothly. To be fair, you want it so you can feel the autopilot is doing, and if you have to step in and take over from the autopilot. Oh yeah, Vanguard, you're talking about the autopilot moving in the yeah, you can see it moving. But now, I mean, is it a game breaker for me? No. Having the actual force or the loading of the aerodynamics on the airplane through the yoke is still worth it to me, and I still can't imagine. I will never go back, knock on wood, unless this breaks or something. I don't think I could ever go back to a traditional style spring-loaded yoke, because even with the lack of support and the frustrations that I have with getting the autopilot to work with some airplanes, the autopilot kicks off with other airplanes, you have to disconnect it, do some workarounds. With all of that headache, it's still the best thing I've ever flown with as far as flight sim is concerned, and I absolutely love it, and I can't imagine going back. So hopefully this technology continues to advance. I enjoy flying the A300, especially for cargo ops. Yeah, we haven't flown the 300 in a while. We should get back into that. Fenix has GSX passenger now also. Ooh. At the other end of the price scale, Windwing cranks out updates 2 or 3 times a week. We need a force feedback. Yes, Al. Absolutely. So Team Vodka is just now entering turbulence. This will be cool. Let's see what happens. Team Vodka is in front of us on the same route. Let's see if we start to enter some turbulence here, too, as we enter the turn. He's probably a couple of minutes ahead of us. We'll see if we fly through the same area. But yeah, Al, if Windwing said they're dropping a force feedback yoke, I'd be day one pre-order. Because I know with the way that they've been updating their current hardware, I have no reason to believe they wouldn't update software to run force feedback. And I'm already familiar with Windwing stuff and how they their software that they run. Turbulence, lots of turbulence, Team Vodka says. What altitude are you at, Team Vodka? The 320 SimFX pack from Parallel 42 has added so much immersion for me. Seeing the clouds smashed into the windscreen really gives you a sense of speed and inertia. Logo lights, really? I might have to look into this. That sounds very interesting. Is that the pack that has like vapors and stuff over the wing? Logo lights? I'll have to check it out. I check it out. Do you think the force feedback flight sticks, you could only get one? Hold on. Do you think with the new force feedback flight sticks and you could only get one, would you yoke airplanes still benefit and have better motion? Oh, you mean flying airplanes with the side, like yoke-driven airplanes with a side stick? Oh yeah, we're starting to enter that turbulence right now. You see that? See the airspeed fluctuations. Is there any wing flex on this airplane? We're starting to enter some turbulence right now. You can see the airspeed deviations. I'll see if we see any wing flex here. Buckeye fly. I still think it would be more fun, yeah. Because you can still create that control loading on your side stick. So like, for instance, if you're flying the Duke, right, and you're just hauling butt in the Duke, you'll feel your side stick is pretty stiff, and then as you slow down, it'll make it easier so you don't overflare, don't over control it. So yeah, if you only got one and you got a side stick, I still think you would enjoy it. Now, hold that thought for a future stream, because I have a force feedback side stick. I do have the Brunner side stick, and I bought it for helicopter flight, but I was so blown away by the force that I could replicate on the 320 side stick that we're going to do an Airbus flight with it here. Team Vodka says, like, we're getting bumped around here. And Team Vodka's at 31. Let's descend to 310 and see if we can get any more. Let's just send to 30. So how do I push it in? No, that's hold. Prof descent. Vertical speed, I guess, maybe. Nope. Let's do vertical speed 1,000. Well, I'm at 36.99. Hold on. There we go. Wait, what? Hold on. Hold on. 31. How did I screw that up? Vertical speed down. 1,000 feet per minute. There we go. We're chasing turbulence right now. We're chasing turbulence. Right now it's not looking good. Team Vodka says my aircraft is not still at all, so that's not a good sign right now. Zippy. So yes, I think the side stick will still be more enjoyable than no force feedback at all. And especially if you fly the Airbus, man. Oh, pull. Duh, I gotta pull it down. Well, that will just be open clamp. I don't want to go clamp descent here. I wanted to protect our speed. So you can see the airplane is in the cockpit anyway. We are reacting to some turbulence. We got some yoke movement. We got some airspeed deviations. In fact, let's slow down. Let's go back to our Econ 8-1. Slow down a little bit for turbulence. But the wings appear to be rock solid. It's hard to tell because there's nothing to... They're trying to move. I think they're trying to move. It's really hard to tell because you don't have a background here. Yeah, we don't have a background. I think they're trying to move a little bit. Let's see if we get down to 31, if we get bumped around more. We're flying into the eye of the hurricane. This is going to be out of here by Monday, right? Because I got to go down to Cancun on Monday, and I don't want to be flying through this. Smooth out at 25, 15 back. All right, man, I'll keep an eye on it. Thanks for the report. Pull out to clamp. There we go. I'm going to listen to the chant. Pull, clamp. Oh, yeah. See, I don't want idle clamp. Dadgummit. Who was that? Who was that? Holy Fook. Holy Fook told me to pull out to clamp. See, now we're just going to skyrocket down. That's why you don't want to do that. You don't want to just go open, descent, or idle clamp at freaking 39,000 feet turbulence, because now you're not going to protect your speed as much, and it's too suspect. But, oh well. They're moving. The wings are trying to move. The wings are trying to move. Yes, Boris, it'll do like a flight level change. I wanted to stay in vertical speed there. Supercall says, my force feedback stick still works, but I would love some native force feedback support 24. Yes, I would love native support 24. I really hope, and this is the thing, I am planning to completely, 100%, I am planning to go to the next expo in Providence, and I really hope companies that are doing force feedback, whoever they are, will be there, because I have so many questions, and I would love to talk to those companies in person about their force feedback, because I've been down the rabbit hole the last couple of months with ever since I got the Bruner. I'm like, okay, let me learn more about this. How is this actually working? And force feedback is it kind of is. We're really bumping around here. The wings are pretty stable. Force feedback is not really the right term. I think it's really control loading is really what you're capable of. Now, a native force feedback I think would be better, but these are really control loading devices. It is wobbling a little bit. It's trying. It's trying. I don't know how much the MD-11 wing actually flexed, though. All right, so we'll level at 310. Stabilizer motion. Here's what we do. We do have to set 4,000, though, for our bottom altitude. So let's set 4. Now we need to figure out how to make sure we descend on profile. So if I wait till TOD with 4,000 set, we are going to descend on profile mode. Do we concur as a chat? So right now we're at hold 31. We're approaching TOD. We might even start down early. And if I select this prof button here, we should descend on vertical profile. No ice detected. Let's go ahead and kill the wings and tail at the very least. Does the Bruner move when the autopilot is on? Avpilot, I was talking about this a few minutes ago. Depends on the airplane that you're flying in the sim. With a lot of these complex airliners, you have to disable that function because some of the airliners, PMDG 777 included, it doesn't know and it cannot detect when the autopilot is engaged, which is the whole point of having it move around with the autopilot on, right? So if it can't tell the autopilot's on, how's it going to move the yoke? And that is there's a break in the chain of communication between the sim and the software, because the hardware can do it. And flying the King Air on Microsoft Flight Sim, absolutely, yoke moves with the autopilot. Flying the ATR, yoke moves with the autopilot. Flying the Duke, yoke moves with the autopilot. Airliner stuff, it's so hit or miss that my profiles that I create, I don't enable it because I don't want it to disconnect, and when I'm away from the computer or something, and just dive into the ground. Again, that's a software thing. We need more support. All right, here we go. Let's hit profile.
Altitude.
Climb thrust to 37. No. How do we screw that up? Is it because we never reached cruise altitude? I think that's because we never reached cruise altitude. Alright, vertical speed 1200. Engaged, we're descending down. How did we not... No, we're in cruise. Now we're on descent. Airbus is weird with the side stick? No way, dude. Side stick is the most, it's actually much more intuitive. That's why the military uses side sticks. Once you get used to it, man, flying with a side stick is awesome. Makes the yoke feel cumbersome. That's why all the new airplanes, well, I should say that all the new airplanes, but that's why the 220 Bombardier has a side stick. Even the most advanced corporate jets, the Hawkers and stuff, side sticks. No, it's because you're flying a mid-plane. AJ, you still here? Key 6, what's up, man? Good to see you. If I push it in, that's hold. Gosh dang it. Idle clamp to 29. We'll just level there. Well, I'm having such a difficult time with doing a profile descent. We're below our marker, which is good, so at least we're not getting high. Alright, back to 4th thou. What am I missing here? 4,000 is set for the bottom. I'm sitting on vertical speed. Oh, we're below. Ooh, lightning! Pull out and then profile. There we go. Now she's gonna level off, maybe, or reduce to 1,000. We're back on it now. There we go. AJ for the win. Thanks, buddy. With a level at 20. Alright, we got lightning out the window. No radar. I'm a huge fan. I know a lot of people get triggered when I say this. I'm a huge fan of default weather radar. Give me something to look at. Give me something. Something is better than nothing. Wow, it looks dark over there. I think in reality we would be getting absolutely beat up right now. Juice up the cockpit? Let's juice it up. Abris flood. Let's juice it up, chat. Where's the other panel lights up here? We need a thunderstorm light? Nah, we don't need that light. Oh, yeah. My wife's detected because it's 94 degrees. I love that. I love that look. That looks real good. Team Vodka did report lightning. I know. Isn't that pretty cool? Are you using X-Plane because the cockpit is so dark now? Gustavo, get out of here. If you guys aren't familiar, Gustavo is our resident X-Plane apologist. That was pretty cool. Team Vodka reported lightning, and we flew into lightning as well. If you like turbulence in the sim, check out Real Turb. Yeah, you know, it doesn't bother me to the point where I want to get an add-on for it. I know a couple of people. I know what Captain Canada runs it. I've seen him run it. And I get it. I mean, that's cool to do Real Turb, but for me, I don't chase it that much that I want to. I just would think, you know, natively for the sim, if I'm flying through a hurricane, the sim should have some turbulence, which, I mean, it's trying to. Team Vodka said he was getting absolutely beat up in the Lear, so which makes sense. I mean, it's a Learjet. Aviator Nick, good to see you. Been a while. Aviator Nick got a shiny new badge with 2 years of memberships. Look at that. V1 status confirmed. Aviator Nick. Been a while, but glad to be back. Aviator Nick, good to see you. We're going to be doing some, we're going to do some New Zealand flying again because the 777 New Zealand livery looks spicy. Let's see. What about MD-11 into, what's that airport in New Zealand that you do the circle all the way down? I think that would be absolute spice. We're going to have to try that. All right, we're on the profile descent. We're looking good. Seatbelts on. Oh, yeah. We're juiced up now. Yes, Queenstown. Thank you, Ivan. Ivan, good to see you, man. Been a while. Queenstown. Oh, Queenstown MD-11. We need to do MD-11 Queenstown. We need to do MD-11 Kai-Tak. MD-11 in a Mount Cook, please. From Kai-Tak. Oh, yeah, Zippy. You don't think it's wide enough? I don't know. Real term, not FS realistic. I mean, JJ, maybe after 25 comes out. We'll see. I'm going to see what the sim runs. Here's the thing, dude. Everyone's different, but like, I like to run the absolute minimum external stuff in the sim as I can. I don't even run FS Realistic anymore. I don't like running Volanta because Volanta, I've linked it to crashes before. And I know it's got some really cool stuff, but I don't even run Volanta for that reason. And with the sim being so close to going into 25, I'm just going to wait. Oh, that's cool, though. Look at that. Look at that shot. This plane is having these 3 engines. It's motivating me to want to become a master of this airplane. I'm obviously far from it. I'm definitely a novice on it. And even with its shortcomings, I really, really want to... It still motivates me to really want to learn more about it. It's growing on me. There's just little things. I can't wait to see what they patch up here in the future. I really think this airplane gets a few patches. It definitely has the potential to be special. Definitely. And you're probably going to see it on this channel a lot because I'm so tired of 2 engines. So tired of 2-engine airliners. It's our first 3-holer. You're going to see it a lot. And the liveries, I hope we get some DC-10, trade-offs. Getting a DC-10 ATA. If anyone's a painter out there, if you make an ATA MD-11 livery, I'll buy you a cup of coffee because I would love to fly. Did ATA have the DC-10? Or actually, L-1011s. But did ATA have a DC-10? I actually think they had a DC-10 or maybe a couple of DC-10s. But ATA... Did Mexicana have any MDs? I don't know. I know in Mexicana it's had a 727 with that juice livery that Whiskey Throttle just put out for the Fenix. If you haven't seen that, you got to check out that livery. It's like gray bottom, green tail, Mexicana, and that was on the 7.2. Looks so spicy. Wrong side in the house. What's up, my man? Wrong side. How you doing, brother? You doing all right? Wrong side did a full auto land the other day. LAX 1100 RVR, brother. 1100, 800 rollout. Minimum was 6. It was getting down there. Pretty cool. Haven't done a sub, let's say sub 1500, 1800 RVR landing in a while. And it was a hard 1100. All right, we're out of 18,000. Magic Beryl ref key is set 2972. We're on the profile. We're looking good. We're going to get replay going. Now, here's the thing. I have not done a single replay attempt. So we'll see how this airplane handles replay mode. Again, I use Flight Recorder. It's a free replay app. It's the best one. You can save recordings. Oh, look at this view, though. How awesome is that? This is a Mad Dog on steroids. Yes, Captain Icelander, it sure is. Mad Dog on steroids, dude. National Airlines is already out, Tri-Jet Senpai. Should we do an after dark? What's today? Is today Friday? What the hell? You guys want to do an After Dark? Wait, who's streaming? Is Wrong Side streaming right now? You're live right now? Back from the dead. I just got a notification. Oh, that was 39 minutes ago. Hold on, I'm going to tune into Wrong Side Sim. Where are you flying? I can't load because I don't have any signal on my cell phone here. I think we should do an After Dark MD-11. We should do another stream. Let's do another stream tonight. You have another stream? Screw it, let's do another stream. I'm missing the Learjet. I know, I do miss that Learjet. I'm kind of waiting. Well, I was waiting, honestly, Ivan. I was waiting for the updates to slow down a bit on the Learjet because it was, and that's a good thing. I mean, that Learjet was pumping out, FlightSimware, they were pumping out updates every couple days, it seemed like. Started streaming the MD a few minutes ago, got done with pre-flight, then lost power long enough to lose the PC. I got to restart flying from Victorville to Payne Field. Ooh, you're flying FedEx, dude. You just lost like 10 points, bro. Get out of that FedEx. I think I might be the first person on YouTube to fly a passenger variant MD-11. Yeah, wrong side. It was spicy, man. It was spicy. And it was dude, 321 Neo just greased the landing. Just absolutely greased it. One of the best auto lands I've witnessed in the Airbus. I don't know if it was because, you know, the captain was so good I retarded the throttles perfectly on time. But, oh my word, look at this cloud. Is this real life? That might be some of the most realistic cloud depictions I've seen in the sim yet. Do you guys see what I'm seeing? And that's kind of what, look at those walls, the rain shaft out there towards where they're, this is some of the best, this shot right here in all of my Microsoft history, this is the best cloud depiction I think I've ever seen. Oh my word. Yeah, it almost looks like an anvil, like it looks like it's just blowing up right now, but it's in its mature stage. Post it on the screenshot so we can ping Boris. I will. You say this every time we fly into a hurricane. We do fly into a hurricane quite a bit, don't we, Team Vodka? I feel like I need to be doing something. I heard the engines spool up. We're getting ready to go to 10,000. We're going to start speeding. Team Vodka, keep your speed up because we're about to speed through 10,000 feet here. 250 knots. We get our... those are all on. We get our turn-offs on. That is beautiful. The wife literally just texted me. She said, "Are you planning on coming home today or no?" I'm just going to respond with, after dark? Maybe we can go to dinner, and then I'll stream. Oh, it is Friday, though. I hate going out on Fridays. Too many people. Did somebody say blowing up? Bomb tech in the house. Alright, there's 10K. 250 knots. We're on profile. Let's see how she does all the way down here. Look at that. Captain Icelander. I love this livery, man. Old school American. I think it was your best Autoland because the best dispatcher delivered that jet. You're probably onto something there, Roxanne. You're onto something there. That is incredible. Now I always like to mention textures around the windows. Not bad here, so you can bring it in for a little bit more realistic view. Pretty good by TFTI. Pretty darn good modeling there. Like I said, this is the first time I've actually walked through the cabin, the passenger variant. I love it. I think they did a great job in the passenger cabin. It's just the amount of detail that I'm good with. I know some people are going to want more. Wish we had toilets, but this is really well done here. This is really well done. Even zoomed in, you can see it's still pretty high quality. No, I'm not on VAL. I should have been though, huh? Yeah, J Flies, it is rare to see good looking CBs. Profile to 3,000. Let's go ahead and set 3. Well, Vixie's a hard at 4 though. Well, sometimes they give us 3. It is Mexico. Let's go 3,000. Oh my goodness. Ah, wrong side. I don't, man. If I have my logbook, I can look it up. Oh, 10K, 1,000. Yeah, 10K. We got to do our check. So our seatbelt signs are on, our lights are on, no anti-ice required. Speed brake. I guess we can arm it. Oh, disarm it. We should arm it though. Auto brakes. We're gonna do.
Stabilizer motion.
We're gonna do min auto brakes. We never ran perf landing. Cancun 1-2 left. Let's run this wet. Get weather information. Current weight is 388.5. 388.5. Auto brake, low, reversers all, flaps 50, calculate. Estimated landing distance 6,100, stopping distance 7,800, we got 8,100 available. Landing distance calculations have been run. Now I'm gonna, for my own knowledge here, I'm gonna manually select 210 knots. And then pull it. Push it. Oh. There we go. Take 10. Speed brake. Help me slow down. Oh, maybe because it's in profile mode. Why does it want the thrust though? Now it's just coming back to idle. So pulling was right. Slat speed. We're going to be below that. Takeoff approach. Min clean 196. Slat extension min 160. Without pooling, you're just pre-selecting. Pooled it. 210. It's trying. I think it's trying. There we go. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back. It's just slippery. Let's go slats out. There's a little wing wobble. Oh yeah, I know they usually do MD-11. I know they usually do 35 landings, but that's not juicy, dude. 35 is so mid. We're gonna go flaps 50. You ever seen this thing with flap 50? It's wild. We could probably go. I think don't you have to reset your dial flap too? 16 to 20 is 240 knots. So we're there. So let's go dial. We're below the speed there. Look at that. Yeah, see how this is a good example of when you talk about high quality sound. So the 777, while it has its shortcomings, you have a slat extension, and then you also have a sound for the flap extensions. We are right on the limit. Let's walk it back to 180. We are right on the limit. 180. I wish I could. I wonder how I can bind that on my Bravo to pull this. Maybe is that bindable? I don't know. Even 505. Let's go ahead and just go down to 3,000. Idle clamp 3,000. We're looking good. We need to scroll up until stowed. Well, I'm not going to do that right now. Probably should have done that at after takeoff. That way when you go to extend them, you don't hit it on approach, which makes sense.
Stabilizer motion.
Cancun traffic, American 357 Heavy, we're 3,000 feet approaching uniform November 505 for the ILS number 312 left Cancun traffic. Is my radio working? It's lighting up. You'd have to use SPAD.next or something, short pitches, long push. Oh, you're right, Vanguard. Maybe it was SPAD next. I mean, I have SPAD, so that might be possible. So we're getting ready to make the turn here. In real life, I normally don't arm the approach until we get in a little bit closer. So I'm going to go with that. We have no glide slope. We're still outside of it, which is fine. 180. We should be flaps 28. Really? So if I go one more step, yeah, it should be at flaps 28. So if dial flap was scrolled up after takeoff, our second position of flaps wouldn't have stopped at dial a flap. It would have gone straight to 28. So that's pilot error. I'm essentially, I put in a dial a flap when I didn't need to, because you don't use dial a flap for landing, you use it for takeoff. So if I had after takeoff checklist and then you stow it, you roll it all the way up, now when you come into land, you go flaps 28. There we go. It just seems a little happier now with a 28 instead of 20 in there. All right, we're on the turn. Let's get the recording started. Recording is started. And I will hand fly it here momentarily.
Stabilizer motion.
Stabilizer motion. I need to get my CLS to sim up. Now I'm gonna turn off the hack that I was using to get it from disconnecting, because I think I fixed that when we turned off that setting on the EFB. Now if I hit approach land armed. Put this in approach mode. As again, that just gives you a ring, which is kind of neat. We're 3,000 feet. What is the final approach fix out to? There is a minimum. Approach 12 left, number 3. 529 is mandatory at 3,000. So we got to stay at 3,000 until 529 anyway. We're looking good. 3,000. We're flaps 28. Oh, that's beautiful. Now fix the dial flap to the right values. Don't get screwed on the go around. All right. So dial flap should be scrolled to 0 now. That is, Gustavo has a point. Gustavo has a point. Wish it was a little bit faster scrolling, because there is a high likelihood of a go around. It won't go past 10 degrees, so maybe it stays at 10. Maybe it stays at 10. I don't know if you can remove the EFB. I haven't been, there's a click spot down here, but probably not a good time to start messing around with stuff on approach. Oh, but this looks good though. Some low level clouds. Oh my, look at this. Just auto hit it. Sam F, good to see you, man. Sam, I was saying that at the very beginning. I think the overhead might be one of the highlights as far as this airplane's texturing is concerned. The front glare shield here is not bad either, and actually it looks even better at the slight with the backlighting. The backlighting is very believable, very well done. I love how they did the lighting on this. It looks great. When we started the stream midday 12 noon, it's a good cockpit. Is it the best I've seen? No, but it's really good. And the overhead though, I think is one of the best we've seen. I think the overhead is really, really well done. Right up there with the Indy builds, A300 overhead. Perfect amount of old, perfect amount of wear and tear on it. Really, really nicely done on the overhead. And I'm not saying the cockpit is not, glare shield's not nicely done. But just, if I were to pick one part of the cockpit that stands out, the overhead for sure. When I'm feeling down, V1 picks me up. Catco, what's up, man? Good to see you, dude. Hope I'm picking you up, man. Hope you feel a little better, man. Glad to have you on board. Get ready to watch me bounce this sucker into Cancun. All right, AP1. I don't have glide slope or loc armed. I'm a little, oh, look at that. Glide slope armed. We're captured. All right. What was our, let's slow up early because I don't know what I'm doing. 153, chat. 153. Let's go gear down. That sound is great. It's extremely loud, but it is a very tactile gear sound. Gears coming down. Okay, recording is on, so we've been recording for a while. Next notch of flaps coming in. So this is 35, I believe, and then our next one is 50. Yeah, our next one is insane. We still got to slow down.
2,500.
Oh, I got to pull it. Dang it. Flaps 50, here she comes. Look at this, Chad. This is insane. This is not how you want to, this is not the condition you'd ever want to land flaps 50 in gusty winds like this. But look at that. That is why we're flying the MD-11. Flappage to the maximum. All right, let's fly this. Let's actually hand fly this. Let's see how we get a hand feeling out of this. We'll go cams on. We're on the slope. All right, autopilot's going. Whoa! That was suspect. All right. Ooh, I just broke it out. We'll get her retrimmed here.
Stabilizer
Definitely
motion.
seemed like it was trimmed way aft. Alright. AJ, what's the proper way to disconnect the auto thrust then? Is it it's that side button on the auto throttle, right? Let's see why it wouldn't be. ATS off. Okay, so I have control of the thrust levers. Very cool. Alright, let's get back on profile here. I want to do a full-blown hand-flown approach. Glide slope single, so we're single land because we shut off the autopilot. Or maybe it was the auto thrust that made us single. Cat 1 single. Cancun traffic, American 357 heavy, about a 4-mile final, 12 left, Cancun traffic. A little bit low. I don't like what the flight director's telling me. I'm going to turn the flight director off. The flight director seems... way too fast.
1,000.
Glide slope.
Check.
Glide slope.
2 whites, 2 reds.
Glide
so.
slope.
Yep, we'll climb back up.
Glide slope.
We'll level off.
Glide slope.
.153 seems fine. Is there a bird bomb tech? I didn't see a bird.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
500.
Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope. Glide slope.
I mean, that glide slope is moving very rapidly. Oh, now we're 10 knots fast. Jeez.
400.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Approach
Jeez,
minimum.
we're getting rocked.
Sync rate. Glide slope.
Minimum.
Sync rate.
Minimum.
Glide
200.
slope.
Minimum.
Glide slope.
$100.
Flaps 50 was not a good
40,
idea.
30,
See how I'm still
20.
fighting that pitch, though?
10.
Goodness. Diabetic rat. A stabilized approach is whatever the hell I want it to be. Yeah. That was, auto brakes off. That was all over the place. Here's a good thing. We have replay so we can try it again without the winds. That reverser sound needs some work. I feel like I just hit full afterburner. Oh yeah, I did forget G's, dang it. We'll have to look at the, we'll launch it on replay. Cancun traffic, American 357 heavy clear. 12 left, exit terminal, Cancun. Stabilized approach, never heard of her. No, never heard of her. It was all over the place. All over the place. It just, I don't know, man. Maybe we should try with the that stabilization off. I think Gustavo's right. I'm battling something. Battling something. We'll see what the replay says. She's so unstable I might try to date her. Up and over the bridge. Kutamundi salute. This is where the Kawatamundi was coined. Alright, why does it say... No, that's there, and hold on. We need to go off, auto brakes off, and that light. We'll leave our lights on for the replay. Beautiful night here in Cancun. Yeah, we need to do another approach without the winds the way they were. We're going to try that again. We can do that in replay mode, which is awesome. Is it force feedback? Yeah, this is a force feedback yoke, yes. And it's like, I want to make, this is just me making excuses, right? This is how you know I'm a real pilot. I just like to make excuses for bad landings. But like, number one, I was definitely fighting coming through the center point, which I'm going to remove on the profile. That's problem one. Number two, the glide slope seemed extremely jittery, but that could just be because I suck. The flight director, that's why I shut it off. The flight director seemed like it was commanding things that shouldn't, I don't know. But that's probably just because I suck. So we're going to try it again. But we'll take a look at that one first. Time to pull a Flight Navy's list, yeah. Put the flight, because the flight director was wrong, AJ. Because my landing sucked because the flight director was wrong. And the glide slope was too jittery. If you're new to the channel, I got a running list of excuses for bad landings, so we're just adding to them. Gosh, this Cancun looks so amazing, though. We're doing another stream tonight, chat. I want to fall in love with this airplane. We're going to see how we do here on another approach as well. We'll clear out the winds. You can't feel the winds that I'm battling, but I'm battling a lot of winds on the yoke as well. Battling the aircraft. We'll just take it here. We'll go to this gate, whatever this gate is. You just disconnect. Was that you, Team Vodka, that I passed off my left? There was a... Yeah, I saw you back there. Oh, look, we snubbed the nose wheel. Gotta be easy with that. Higher in the seat, Gustavo? You mean like maybe up here? Dude, if I do that, I'm gonna absolutely smash the Airbus when I go back to work. I might try a little higher seat. Let's see. Yeah, Sam, the flight director on the 777 also seems a little sensitive. You got to fly through it. And again, I don't know if that's realistic behavior. Maybe it is. Even in the 320 in real life, you do fly through the flight director sometimes. There's no doubt about it. But nowhere to the extent of, man, look at the ground handling. This sounds so weird, but one of the highlights of this airplane is the ground handling. It handles so good on the ground. I love the way this airplane handles on the ground. Let me get back to my normal view because you're tripping me out, Gustavo. 838. Straighten it up a little bit. We're not going to do a full shutdown or anything because I just want to see what our replay was. So we're set here. Yeah, AJ, we're leaving the lights on for replay. A couple people in Cancun. I don't think anybody has a short final though. Look at that beautiful night though in Cancun. Goodness. Alright, let's see our replay. Let's disconnect. How high do I sit in the 320? Sam, I'm pretty much, from my height, I'm pretty much wherever the balls on the A pedestal, A thing is here, I line them up. That works pretty good for me. And I guess, you know, realistically, it's probably about like that on the 320, Sam. Probably about like that. In relation to the glare shield, yeah, I would say probably about like that. I put so in the real 320, the light bar here that's underneath, I pretty much put it right on top of the PFD. That's about the height that I see. All right, let's jump into replay mode.
Altitude.
This was just a nasty approach, so we're going to skip that.
Altitude.
Do you see my yoke moving? It's jumping all over the place. Let's resume the replay. Let's get our flaps in here. Let's go replay cam right here. I'm gonna let the scenery load in here for a minute. Make sure our park
Sync
brake is
rate.
off. Park brake is.
Sync rate.
Approaching
up.
Park
minimum.
brake is off.
Sync rate.
Alright, just make
Sync
sure
rate.
everything's config normal. The wings are flexing now. Massa, welcome to Private Pilot, man. Glad to have you on board. Thank you for supporting the channel.
100.
Wings are definitely flexing.
50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Okay, so animations are working on FS recorder, or flight recorder, sorry, not FS recorder. Yeah, the replay sound seems off, for sure. Let's run it forward. Let's see what that touchdown looked like. Okay, so I gotta reset the spoiler. Okay, that's pretty normal. Let's see how we did here. Frame gen off. Oh, nice touchdown sound. All right, just for that didn't seem terrible. Let's launch G's. I know it's not terribly accurate in replay, but I'm honestly just curious. So G's is up and running. If I put you in landing cam, you should be able to see G's if I turn it on. There we go. Right there, you should be able to see G's. We'll see how it does here. Those are some great ERPs, if I may say so. Yeah, that ERP actually sounded pretty good. Let's wind the time back a little bit. Get a little better view. Maybe we should go Cancun, Mexico City tonight. Do you guys want to do Cancun, Mexico City on an after dark? That could be spicy. High altitude landing. Probably not going to do flaps 50 here. Gustavo, I'm going to try. I just want to see what the G's is, and then I will try
1,000.
again. So we'll turn the flight director on. I do like that you get all this in replay. Now, the winds are obviously different in replay because I think it's still taking real time. Like, is the command bar going above the flight? Is going above the whiskers there? I don't know if it was in real life or not, or in the real approach. It's just replay.
500.
You busted minimums in Mexico City a few days ago, Tyson. Nice. Oh, Captain Icelander, yeah. Gustavo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try one landing, seat higher, with no weather. And then I'll try with LSAS off. So we're going to do some landing.
400.
The great thing about this replay
Sync
tool,
rate.
y'all, is I can literally stop it and take
Approaching
control of the
minimum.
airplane.
Pull up.
See, we lost
Sync
a ton
rate.
of wind right there. Like in
Minimum.
the approach, it
Minimum.
just dropped out from us.
200.
But we can turn off the replay and just take control and fly the approach again. And that's what we're going to do here in a minute. You see how I'm battling, though? I'm definitely battling the pitch here. But honestly, it kind of
100.
looks like those videos where you see those MD-11s battling high winds. It actually, it doesn't look too dissimilar. Now that looked a little excessive. Let's see what G says here on replay. A 440. I believe that. A 440 on replay at 1.27. See, I'll show you how inaccurate, not inaccurate, but it is kind of skeptical. We'll try it one more time. We'll see if it gives another one, and we'll just take the average between both of them. Oh, yeah, and flaps 35, not 50, Thomas Ray. That's a good point. I mean, look how cool flaps 50 is, right? Look how cool that is. Oh, I saw the Airbus flare. That was the Airbus flare right there. 419, yeah, so I think it's fair to say that was a solid 400 foot per minute, 1.26 G. Good thing boxes don't bitch. All right, let's pause that. Let's wind it back, and let's take control and fly it. So I'm going to wind the sim back. I'm going to let it load in here. Second run, flaps 35, no LSAS, and higher seat. Let's do, Gustavo, let's do higher seat. That's too high. Hold on, maybe, where was I? Okay, so this is where I was. Let's go here. Maybe I should move back a tad? Maybe right here? I feel like that's too high, dude. Centered up. We'll try it. We'll try it, Gustavo. That looks pretty label. So that's going to be my new center position. That is set. Let's turn off the weather. So let's come here. And let's just turn live weather off. Cav OK conditions. Calm winds. Beautiful. And now we're probably going to stall here for a second. Don't mind what's going to happen. It's going to get crazy on us. I'm going to stop replay. Okay, I have control. It's going to give me, it's going to freak out here for a second. All right, I have control. Let's bring our flaps back to 35. Let's bring our engines up here. Let me get them trimmed. Like I said, just give me a minute here to get stable. We're in that protection. We're going to do 35 land, which is 149. Can I speed up? What are our flaps at? Oh, that's why we're stalling. Jeez. Flaps 35. That's alright. We'll get her stable. As long as we're stable here by the end. Auto thrust needs to come off. Oh, but it keeps going into that protection. Low speed protection. I see. There's the stall limit right there. Do I have a stick shaker model? Let's see. I don't think so. I didn't hear it go off in the real plane though. Magic barrel ref. I don't know why. I don't know why. Oh, there's my stall stick shaker.
Pull
Rip.
up. Pull up.
Minimum.
Nope, I don't want to do that. It'll mess up. Oh, actually, what the hell? No, no. What did I hit? I just hit end flight, didn't I? Oh no, that was activities. Okay. We're good. We're good.
Pull up.
Hold on. Go back to replay.
Sync rate.
Altitude.
Sync rate.
We're good.
Sync
We're
rate.
good.
Sync rate.
Flaps 35 is set.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Why can't I have
Sync
control?
rate.
It kept like taking over my
Sync
thrust.
rate. Sync rate.
Disconnect ATS off.
Sync rate. Sync
Put my
rate.
thrust levers back.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
Alright.
Sync rate.
I have control. Alright. I have control now. Calm winds. I have the thrust levers. ATS is off. Okay, there we go. Let's get on center line. We're cooking with gas now, chat. We're cooking with gas. Not even 1G on that impact, really? Our spoilers are... Let's arm those so we don't bounce. Alright, we need a little slow correcting.
500. $400.
140, 149 is like right on that limit, huh?
Approaching minimum.
Definitely. So you can definitely see. See, I'm not that bad. That approach, we were getting
Minimum.
absolutely rocked. A little bit high correcting. I'm going to correct here with the Pappies.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
I'll take that. Okay. That felt good. No auto brake. So let's stop. Stop that. Let's do the replay again. And we're going to go... We're going to go right back to where we were. I'm going to try this one with the LSAS off. So let's come back. Flaps 35 is set. Let the airplane stabilize. ATS, well, we're low speed. protection, so when the protection kicks in, doing a bunch of weird things. And Gustavo, we want to turn off. Which one are we going to turn off? All of it? I guess you wouldn't turn off the left and not the right, right? But you might be onto something with that high. All right, so I have control. Replay stop. We got to speed up here. Let me recover the speed. Really, not much I can do about that other than just lower the nose here.
Sync rate.
We'll dive down.
Sync rate. Sync rate.
All right.
Sync rate.
Why is with my ATS off? I don't know. I gotta understand this auto thrust better. All right. Now I have control. We're back in normal regime. We're just gonna kind of level out here, and we're gonna try these off. It's really hard to maintain speed. Why is my...
500.
I keep seeing those engines want to roll back. I can tell you right now, I can immediately feel a difference with that LSAS off. Immediately.
400.
I'm just going to follow the BAP in there. A little bit of trim there. A little bit more. Trim.
Stabilizer
There
motion.
we go. Now she's in the slot. A little low, correcting. There she goes. 2 rights, 2
Approaching
reds.
Minimum.
Correcting.
200.
Yeah, she's a slippery bird there.
$100.
A little high.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Oh yeah, we'll take that. All right. Gustavo's onto something with the seat position for sure. So now for the ultimate test. Let's try, and then we'll end the stream. We're gonna do real weather with the gusty winds.
Altitude.
Proper flap setting. I'm going to give myself a little bit more time to get stable. Okay, we're going to do proper flap setting with real gusty winds though. So we're going to turn this back to real weather. We'll let it load in for a minute. And then we're going to do flaps 30, make sure everything is set up right. Flaps 30 land, V, ref 144, 149. She seems happy at 150. I got 150. Maybe should I pull that? Oh, it's like flight freeze. You see that? Oh. So we're in flight freeze almost. You see the speed is still working. So let's get the power up. Let's get out of this speed protection band. Alright, this is going to take a minute to get stable. So I have control. LSAS is all off. ATS is off. We're real weather. Our seat position is adjusted. Let's turn the flight director on. Yeah, that flight director seems off to me. Look how high it's commanding. That's not right. Oh, it's also in hold at 3,000. That's why. Duh. Now we flew through it. Daggone it. Let's just turn it off. Fly the airplane. Look outside. We need to get stable. Fast, correct.
1,000.
22 knot cross. Look at the gust, though. I mean, this is absolutely brutal. I'm gonna re-record this one. Let's record this one. We already saw the other one. So we're recording this approach attempt. Speed, correcting. Now we got a 20 knot headwind. Just a second ago, it was like 3. Correcting on the speed. A little more juice. A little low. Correcting.
500.
Whoa, there.
400. Approaching minimum.
This is a battle.
Minimum. 200. Minimum.
Alright, it's just stabled out, 20 knot headwind now.
One 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
Oh, that one came up to bite us. Find that nose down. Oh, my rudder pedal just broke loose. That's where he got tight that. Alright, that seemed pretty good. I know that was firmer, but as far as controlling, let's see how that looked. Ah, I didn't record that one. Son of a gun. I recorded this one though. Let's see what this one is. Let's get out of here. Airbus flare for sure. I still need to work on that. Alright, what we're going to do though is we're going to wrap it up here. I think we might be onto something with the seat position for sure. At the very least, raising my seat helped a little bit. She's still a bit wobbly. I think with some practice though, I mean, I might have to do some more tweaking there. Oh, is this where we crashed? I think this is the point where we crashed. You leave LSAS on because without you get a bug pitch up moment with spoilers. Oh, that's what I was fighting. That's what it limits with the spoilers. You don't hit the tail, right? Because I was having to push forward on the yoke to get the nose down. That's why you leave LSAS on. All right, hold on. Scratch it, scratch that. We're doing one more approach, LSAS on with our new seat position. Real weather. Oh, that looked pretty good for a 374. Dang, we almost hit the tail. All right, hold on. Run it back. I want one more shot at this with LSAS on. Alright, stop replay. I have control. LSAS on. Recording on. Speed. Correcting. I know. We're stalling out.
Sync rate.
I'm gonna fix it.
Sync rate. Sync
Alright,
rate.
let's make this one good. LSAS is engaged now. LSAS on, a little bit higher seat position. Real weather, gusting here, post-hurricane. We're back on the path now. Let's fly her down.
Minimum 200.
Is that approach speed 149? Is that really that tight to that protection speed tape there? Like, see, you just drop right below it.
100.
I think, I mean, Gustavo, honestly, the seat position, I think, is making the biggest difference of all. I was way too low.
30, 20, 10.
Smash. Yeah, that was a smash. I was late. I drove the mains in. Ah, look at that. See? And I don't have to fight the nose coming up. Very cool. We don't have auto brakes on either. Turn auto brakes on. Yeah, the ref is, I mean, it's right in the box. 149. I had 150 bucks, so 1 knot. I mean, but it's just, it seems very close to that amber speed tape. All right, let's see what that one looked like. Let's see. I'm gonna run it to it. We almost stalled it out. We got it stable. Here we go.
Pull.
Let's see how she was on this one here. Female airplanes are unreasonable and pitchy. Oh, that's a beautiful shot right there. Now we can get sail going. I like that growl. I wish it was more oomph to the engines. Need more oomph. A little high on the flare. I think our VREF speed's off. I think our VREF speed was off. Maybe not. I gotta get that nose down a little bit faster. Alright. Okay. We're learning. Why not go from the frying pan? into the fryer, chat. What do you say we go Cancun, Mexico City tonight? You want to go with me? I'm going to set it up. Let's see if we can do an After Dark stream. All right, guys. Thank y'all for the help on that one there, for kind of getting me get some of those situations dialed in. I'm going to enjoy this airplane. I know I will. I need some more time with it. And I think after a couple updates, I think she's going to be really cool. So, I appreciate all the support. Thank you for the super chats, the milestone chats, the subscriptions, the like button smashes. If I thought this was challenging, how about the same wind conditions at like 8,000 feet in Mexico City? Oof, I might just keep G's off. All right. Y'all stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you on the next one. See you in chat. I'll try to stream maybe at like maybe 6:30 or something. All right, guys. See you.